VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
And it is a big day at GMHBA Stadium. Yes, that's right. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live crew has travelled down the highway to Geelong on a beautiful day as we're getting set for a big round 12 clash between Geelong and Frankston. As I said in the intro, it's a beautiful sunny day here in Geelong. GMHBA Stadium is bathed in sunshine and, well, I can only speak from personal experience. It's the first time I've ever been here in person, and let me tell you, it looks mightily impressive. Hello and welcome to Geelong. We're here for round 12 action. My name is Michael Peppercelli, and calling this one alongside me today will be Adam Sarakoglu. Adam, the Dolphins coming off a win last week, their first for the season, snapping a run of 20 consecutive losses, coming up against the Cats, who have been a little bit up and down this season. Should be in for a pretty good one today. The Dolphins will be up and about.
Not only a win, but a really impressive win as well. 50 points exactly for the Dolphins last week. It's a fairly lengthy road trip from Frankston to Geelong, but they're out there warming up at the moment. They'll be feeling pretty confident. They've beaten an AFL aligned side, so they've got another one coming up here today in the Cats, who aren't exactly setting the world on fire at the moment. They're only 10th on the ladder at 4-5 are Shane O'Brien's men. So Frankston will be coming in today thinking that this is not only a winnable game, but they're a good chance of actually pulling off the W here.
They certainly will be feeling that way, Adam. And the Cats had the bye last week as we welcome in the third member of our team this afternoon. He's back from a week off last week. Stoney, how are things looking at boundary level?
I'll tell you what, listeners, this ground, GMHBA Stadium, is where it is. Brilliant sunshine today. Expect a good contest. I was talking to Geelong camp before. They've probably got their best side in the park today. They've only got their experience having a team they'll probably talk about. But this ground looks a picture. It's this renovation. And I just went up to the media centre for the first time, gentlemen. And you must say, we have got the best of conditions. You've got the best of conditions up there, because it is spectacular up there.
We're in the TV studio today, Stoney.
Yeah,
so
which is very,
if you're
very
watching
good.
us, if you're watching us on VFL.com.au, Stoney's that man in the centre square as we speak, just closest to the centre circle. That's Stoney. Give us a wave, Stoney. There he is.
G'day, how are you?
There's our man Mark Stone. Boundary side for today.
It is, the ground's in magnificent condition, and there's no breeze. I'll talk about it a bit later, but there's no breeze at the moment, and perfect conditions for football. Had a lot of rain down here, let me tell you. I've just tried to landscape my garden in the last 2 weeks, and to say it's been difficult with the rain has been an understatement, but really in good nick.
It looks a little bit patchy on this broadcast wing in front of us, Stoney.
Yes, it is.
It's not pristine.
It is very, very patchy indeed. Very patchy, but the ground is in really immaculate condition.
We are expecting a little bit of rain this afternoon to come at some stage. Not too sure if or when that is going to come, and even if it does capture GMHBA Stadium, we'll be hoping that it does miss us. But it is an excellent facility here, Adam, as we mentioned before. And for the Cats, they've come off the bye. Just want to have a look at a few team selection issues. They've made 9 changes from the team that played a couple of weeks ago. Lockie Henderson is the big in amongst those 9 inclusions. He's had a few injury problems throughout the season. Came back earlier in the season, did play in the AFL, has played a couple of games at VFL level as well, but he'll be looking to get some continuity into his body and perhaps work himself back into that back line.
I think it was a plantar fascia. That was the original issue, I think, with Henderson. I think it was a foot, yeah. So healthy contingent of AFL listed players for the Cats today. They've got 13 of their 23 as they do make their way out onto GMHBA Stadium now. They'll be feeling good about themselves as well, Stoney.
One note, the 23rd player for Geelong is Angus Byrne now. Angus Byrne's an Echuca boy. Has been dominated at Golden Valley level, and he gets an opportunity. He's on the Cats list, and so congratulations to him. It's a good effort to play as a 23rd player, but especially in this side today.
He's on debut.
That's right, Stoney. That is his VFL debut. 20 years old, 194 centimetre, key forward, I believe. So good luck to him this afternoon, and hopefully he can get amongst the goals. Having a look at this Frankston side, they only made the one change, which is probably a luxury for Coach Danny Ryan, coming off a win for the first time in his first season as the Dolphins senior coach. James Randell coming in for Liam Hiscock, so a couple of talls. Stoney, I might come to you for this. Who are the players out there that our audience should be looking for the Dolphins this afternoon?
Good segue too, boys. And I know a bit about the Frankston team, having watched them over the last 5 years. They've got some nucleus of some good players. I'd be looking for Dylan Gordon, who'll play down back, a key position player. Josh Newman, the captain, he's a special player, the brother of Newman at Carlton. Corey Richards is a good player. Will Fordham's played some AFL footy with the North Melbourne Footy Club. We go down. We've got Nathan Freeman, obviously St Kilda, ex-St Kilda player, and he's been racking up the ball this year. Blake Mullane, also a good player. We go down again. You talked about young McCarthy's a really good tall ruckman key forward player. James Rendell, the son of obviously Rendell, used to play the AFL. So they've got some very good players, young players, but really classy players. And obviously with their win last week, it's going to give them confidence, the young players under Danny, and it'll be, like I said, they'll give a lot today. Just
noticed, Tony, running by you, one of the field umpires today is Shane McInerney. He's behind you at the moment, so I think it's an all AFL crew today in the lime green, so he's a very experienced umpire here. Umpiring, he's about to run past you right now, Stoney.
It is great to see the AFL experience.
It's been around a long time, Shane McInerney.
So. Yeah, it has, which is great.
Hopefully the bouncing is good, Peps.
Yeah.
Hopefully it is. We know that you'll certainly won't be afraid to tell us if it isn't, Adam. We know that's one of your bugbears, but expecting a good game today. Is just got a little bit of cloud cover over GMHBA Stadium. No rain at the moment.
Just look at the radar. I think we're all clear. I think we are. There was a bit of on the highway on the way up. I did have to get the windscreen wipers going at least once.
As did I.
It should be all right. This is your neck of the woods, Stoney. You know this place very well. It's a good day for footy. Perfect day for footy.
It's a great day for footy, and come up from the Bellarine Peninsula. I did this morning, and it's always great to be back in G-Town.
Probably a fair drive for some of those Frankston boys coming from Mount Eliza and the like, just over the other side of the bay, really.
If I was the club, wouldn't it be a good idea we get them on the ferry from Sorrento, right? We'd pay them all to come over on the bus or a little, obviously get on there and have a bit of an outing. It'd be a good idea, I reckon.
The old Queenscliff Sorrento ferry, Stoney.
Yeah, correct.
Well, you never know. It could be a good team bonding exercise. Maybe they've stayed the night in Geelong last night. Who knows? But certainly some big names out there for the Dolphins. As you mentioned, Stoney, they've got about 3 or 4 players averaging over 20 disposals this season per game. And Nathan Freeman would be the big one amongst those. He's played 7 out of 9 games so far, has been able to get a little bit of continuity into his body. We know hamstring injuries have really curtailed his young career so far.
Yeah, it has, and he obviously, he'd be looking again to get in the AFL. I reckon he's a really class player and would go well in the AFL system. But the one thing that I'm really interested about this ground, we look at the Frankston ground, it's totally different shape to this ground. This is an AFL ground, it's bigger, it's wider than Frankston. So look to Geelong. I reckon Geelong could try and expose Frankston on this ground and get it out wide, the outside runners, and run down the ground, because it is a big, expansive footy ground at GMHBA Stadium.
There are 10 Dolphins out there today, Stoney, that have played every game so far this year. This is their 10th game of the season, and they've got 10 players out there that have not missed a game so far this year.
And that's
It is a luxury to have for a standalone VFL team.
Yeah.
But you would expect that as well. We've seen that over the years with particularly Williamstown, Port Melbourne as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what you want. It's like team unity, bit of spirit, game plan, know your teammates, kick the right position for them. It does count for a lot. The only thing that gets them is obviously experience and the conditioning. That's the 2 things that standalone clubs find that the hardest part is the training aspect, conditioning aspect of every day of training and getting some weights and recovery. So I expect Frankston to be in this game for a long, long time today, because they'll have a good crack.
They certainly will have confidence, and we speak about how young that Frankston lineup is. We know it's about development for the moment since they've come back into the competition at the start of last season. Their oldest player out there today is actually only 25 years old, if you can believe that, coming up against some of the senior, more hardened bodies of some of those Geelong AFL listers, and there are 13 of them out there this afternoon. So they certainly will face a challenge, but I think what Danny Ryan will be looking for, Stoney, and I'm sure you can attest to this, is just to have a real crack at some of these older players, some of these AFL experienced players, for as long as they can, and if it's close in the last quarter, anything can happen from there, right?
Yeah, you're right about that. It's been longer and longer and longer and longer. You stay in the game as long as you get a chance. I've seen over many years playing against a line side, playing non-aligned sides. You can stay in the game as long as you can, And you can start putting doubt in the opposition's mind that, you know what, maybe this is not as easy as we thought it was. And then you start to put doubts in the opposition. Doesn't matter whether you've had 100 games experience. The doubt you put in your mind, it's a mind game, and that really counts for a lot. But just having a look at the Geelong team, boys, just some of the players. I'm really keen to look at young Kruger today, young Wiley Buzzer. Some players, Jed Buse, we talked about Henderson before, Guthrie. They've got some Ryan Abbott, the ruckman. They've got a luxury of players in their team. So some of these players come back from injury, and trying to get back in that senior side will be an exercise in itself.
Yeah, they certainly do have some impressive names out there, don't they, Stoney? And I think it's going to be a really good midfield battle. You look at the likes of Scott Selwood, Charlie Constable, who's been having a really good season at AFL level, Sam Simpson and Zach Guthrie coming up against those AFL experienced Frankston mids in terms of Will Fordham and Nathan Freeman, expecting that to be a really good battle. Absolutely good battle. But the other one is, for me, is that we have Scott Selwood coming back, and him playing, obviously trying to get over those leg injuries he's had in the start of the year. So he'll be trying to, get to impress and try and get back in that senior side. That's right. 6 VFL games for Scott Selwood this season. Hasn't been able to make it back into that Geelong AFL lineup. It's a pretty settled one at the moment. We know the Cats are absolutely flying at AFL level. Sometimes, generally, AFL performance does permeate down to VFL performance. We haven't quite seen that this year with the VFL Cats, sitting at 4 and 5 in 10th place on the ladder. They've had a couple of very close losses, also a couple of close wins. What have you made of their seasons so far, guys?
Adam, I'll have a chat first. I think that it's been about the side they've had on the plate. They've had a few injury issues, and that's cost them. But the competition's so competitive, and so if you've got injuries and got players out of your team, this competition has really closed up over the last couple of years, and that's why they've been fortunate to be on the end of a couple of wins and a couple of losses. But it is very competitive in both competition. We see the toss there. Gents, Aaron Black just tossed the coin for the Geelong team, the obviously Geelong North Melbourne player. He won the toss. He's going to be going to the left of the screen, or left of the dial here at, that's the northern end here at GMHBA Stadium.
Co-captains for the Cats, of course, Jimmy Cheetahs is the other co-captain as well. Their only team of the year entrance last year here in the VFL. The scene is set here at GMHBA Stadium. One other game is taking place today in the Hardjacker Totally Workwear VFL. 2 sides we are going to get a look at here on VFL Live in a couple of weeks, so we'll keep half an interest in this live score today. It is Box Hill hosting Sandringham. Next week we're broadcasting Sandringham against Richmond, Trevor Barker Beach Oval, and then the week after Box Hill is hosting Geelong, so we're going to get a couple of Cats games. So it's the Hawks and the Zebras in the other game around the grounds. It's kicking off at 2:10, so that'll kick off just a little after our game does, and the rest of the round all takes place tomorrow.
Tell you what, Dale, the conditions we've got here down at ground level, we've got a seat and all, gentlemen. I'm just like to feel a pig whatever.
You're the local, Stoney. What do you want to call the ends today?
So it's the
player stand end.
Yeah, the Geelong Road end. It's the left-hand side of the.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll go with the Geelong end. We'll go to the north and the south. How's that? Until I find out.
So that's easy enough. I think I might be able to remember that one, Adam. North and south. It is an impressive stadium, as I said in the intro. My first time here personally, and tell you what, it might not be the last time either. It looks like a great venue to watch a game of footy.
I've got it, the scoreboard end.
Looks fit for hosting AFL finals, Stoney, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I hope that's not too controversial to say, but this is more than adequate for an AFL final.
Only depends
should the Cats qualify for one?
Depends what side you've got playing.
Yeah, it depends on the opponent, I would have thought.
All set to go. Round 12 in the Hardjacker Totally Workwear VFL. Cats hosting the Dolphins, and a good bounce to get things underway here at GMHBA Stadium. Picked up by Rich. Had a very good year last year, having a good year again this year. Eventually kicked forward by Freeman as the Dolphins trying to penetrate 50 for the first time today. It won't quite work out that way. McLaughlin's kick not great. Mullane was there. Handball to Williams, but he was under pressure, and a very good tackle will hold things up
well called
by Jermaine Jones, and a free kick will go to Cats' way.
Back into the lineup this afternoon, Jermaine Jones. Missed his first game of the season a couple of weeks ago. He's got it right in front of our broadcast position, sends it long towards half forward. Dolphins had numbers and able to neutralise the contest, but they're going to go inside 50 again, the Cats. Selwood sends it long to the hot spot. The mark on 3 bites, taken by Kruger.
Been a good player this year. I reckon this guy can't play football. He's a exciting player.
Came over from the Sandful in the off-season, did Kruger. Was one of those mature age concession pickups and was on-traded to Geelong as a result, and the Cats would have to be liking his development so far in the VFL. Has kicked 12 goals for the season, second for the VFL Cats as he comes in. This one only about 20 metres out, and it's dead straight. Cats get the first.
It's just the way, Jermaine Jones, that tackle on the wing there, got it forward, and Kruger is a big unit too. Looking at it from the boundary line, he's a pretty tall sort of type of player, but very mobile, and as you said, trying to make his way in AFL footy, trying to get a game in the Cats team, but good one for the future. But Frankston have to take every opportunity they can. We've seen the ball, they had the ball at centre wing and turned the ball over, and then it cost them a goal. So first goal of the game to the obviously northern end of the arena.
Ryan Abbott in ruck against Mitch McCarthy. Umpire throws it up. No bouncing, it would seem, today from Shane McInerney. Scott Selwood sends Geelong inside 50 once more into open space. It just set up nicely there for Gordon. He clears defensive 50. Rich tried to get a little touch on there to the former Tiger, the former Ruby Tiger in Will Fordham. It goes out of play, boundary throw-in. You would have seen a fair bit of him over the years, Stoney.
Yeah, obviously on North Melbourne's this one he was with us, and good accumulator of the ball. Will had some really good seasons since he come down to Frankston.
Abbott might have been just worried out of it in the contest by McCarthy. There has been a free kick that'll go Frankston's way. It's going to be taken by Freeman. That left half back, the short kicking board. Has it gone 15 for Josh Newman? It has. We'll be hearing from Josh Newman at half-time in our half-time interview from the VFL hour earlier in the week. So stay tuned for that at half-time today. Picked up by McLaughlin here for the Cats. The kick goes toward 50. Constable has to go back by hands, and now it's with Fogarty. Goes inside 50 looking for Wiley Buzzer, and he takes a good mark. Same angle as what we saw Nathan Kruger kick a goal from, but on the opposite pocket. So it's just a little more than a 45-degree angle. The riches of Geelong, we've got Kruger and Buzzer got the ball. Aaron Black's playing on a half-forward flank. We see Angus Byrne coming on the ground. So the tools in the Geelong team are going to cause a few problems, a few headaches for Frankston. 15 goals for. He's been pretty accurate this year. Here's Wiley Buzzer. The left foot's on the way, and the Cats have two. 2 straight 12. Frankston yet to score. 4 minutes in to this round 12 clash here on Hard Jacket. Totally Workwear VFL Live.
So what's got to happen here is Frankston's got to get their hand on the ball in the midfield. It's coming out too easy from the on-ball brigade there of the Cats. So they've got to try and stop that Frankston, nullify the effect inside, and get the ball on the outside.
Well, they've got their A-graders in there for this centre bounce, Stoney. Freeman, Fordham, and also Goy Locke, who's enjoying a pretty good season as well. So, but as you said, they just need to get their hands on the footy. Struggling to do that at the moment. Cats lead it by a couple of goals. As we get started again, Abbott might have gotten first hands to that one over McCarthy. Now it's shot out to Dowling, and inside forward 50, the Cats go again. Great body positioning and strength from Buzzer. He takes another mark inside forward 50.
So when the ball's coming that quickly into your forward line, your defenders they've got to get a second man up, and you've got tall forwards and the capabilities of these boys. It's going to cause problems.
So this one from a similar position to which he kicked the last one, but on the other side of the ground. 45-degree angle. Kick from about 40 metres out. Another goal for the Cats. Buzzer's got 2. And Geelong has 3.
So we're only 5 minutes into the first quarter, 3 goals on the board. We've got to get some continuity around that ball, because that ball comes in too easy to the forward line. It's going to be a really ugly day for the Frankston boys. So let's try and regroup now. It's only obviously early in the first quarter. Just try and get a goal on the board, get some possession, maybe play some tempo footy. Just really slow this game down.
Stoney, do you think that might have been something Shane O'Brien might have mentioned to his team before the game, that Frankston might be up and about after a win and they need to get off to a good start?
Yeah, no doubt about that. And any competitive person who plays sport, play footy, play any sport, you want to try and get in early and have a crack.
Abbott wins the tap yet again. Fogarty immediately wrapped up, does get his hand pass out. Freeman beaten to the ball that time by Jarvis, and the umpire will cross his arms. Cats coming off a bye, and then prior to that a 1-point loss at the VU Whitten Oval to Footscray. Abbott plugs it from the ruck. Sorry, Stoney, hold your thought. Inside 50 we go. Was there a whistle in flight? No. Frankston have numbers out the back. Ferreira gives it to Locke. Back to Ferreira at centre half back. He's kicked toward this broadcast side. Mark was dropped there by Lockie Williams. Allows the Cats to get it back. Cheetah gave off his handball. A little kick forward was good from Buse. Go inside 50. Roricar's kick, not so good. It's cut off by Gordon. He goes to centre half back. Still waiting for a chance to open you up here, Stoney. It's in the hands right now of Harnett. Towards half forward he goes. Henderson affected the contest late. Harnett gathers once more. Coughed it up to Constable. Did not get rid of the ball right in front of you. Go, Stoney.
Yeah, good tackle there. But just notice that Ryan Abbott is dominating the ruck, and they're getting. That's one of the reason why they've got 3 goals on the board, is because Abbott is getting his first hand on the ball. So they need to try and nullify in the middle.
He does have a significant size advantage over Mitch McCarthy, does Abbott, and has the experience as well, as Kingsbury drives it towards half forward. High free kick going Frankston's way, as Miller has it at right half forward. Too far out to score. Zajai's his deepest option. Instead, decides to go shorter than that, but had too much on the kick, and coming across to intercept is Callum Mitchell for the Cats. Eventually called to move on is Mitchell. And that kick hugging the boundary line. Frankston with the numerical advantage. No mark taken by Williams. Now going at ground level, both Williams and Henderson, before Locke comes in and makes sure that ball isn't going anywhere.
That's good. Just got to half the contest. That's all you got to do. Be with your man and just half the contest, so you got half a chance.
Just ticked over 8 minutes gone in this opening term. The Dolphins have barely had it inside forward 50, but they get a chance here as Locke, with the classy pickup, gives off the handball to McHale. Zajai needs to compete here and takes the mark, plays on and snaps the Dolphins first.
Great effort, and good use of the body by that young fella from the Frankston team, and that was young Yilba Zijay. He's, I think, actually might have played at Sandringham a couple of years. But,
former Zebra.
Yeah, so he's always been a class small forward, and a good result.
Oldest player out there today for the Dolphins, guys. He's 25 years old.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing. But he's a good player. Like, he always played really well at Sandringham, and knew where the goals were, and obviously looking for opportunity, and went down to Frankston. So good result for that young fella.
We're back in the middle here. Shane McInerney throws it up. We won't see any bouncing today, and I am for that. Abbott, again, just grabs it out of the ruck and does it all himself. We're inside 50 for the Cats, and that was all too easy. And a mark is taken by the 23rd man, Angus Byrne.
So Angus, this is very exciting stuff for young Angus. His first kick, I think it would be, and having a shot on goal.
They just look a little bit undersized with those long, high balls inside forward 50, don't they, Stoney, the Frankston defence?
Yeah, have a look at the forward and wait till the kicks, see how he goes with this.
So you're right, Stoney, this is his first disposal at VFL level. First kick is a poster.
Yeah, so
on the left foot.
Getting back to that point, we have, you got Buzzer and obviously Angus Byrne and, all those tall forwards. It's just a lot to take on.
They do have some height back there, the Dolphins, but significant disadvantage in terms of size, as Gordon's kick in is Well, it was intercepted, but it's a free kick going Geelong's way anyway. To Guthrie, kick in board is a dangerous one, and Freeman intercepts. The Dolphins can go here if they want. They've got numbers on. The handball just a bit overcooked. Newman needs to go, and there'll be a holding free kick. So a chance once again for Frankston to reset. Locke can drive the ball inside 50. Zajai's lurking at the back. He won't get there. The Cats had all the numbers. Guthrie can go out wide to Black. And he takes the mark at right half back. Little chipper inboard is okay for Constable, who wants to go immediately. Gives it off to McLaughlin, and coming across to take the intercept mark is Gordon. One of the players Stoney spoke about pre-game. Has it at left half back, and dangerous ball. Chance for the Cats to attack once again. Selwood into the pocket for McLaughlin. Doesn't quite get to him on the full. And the boundary line beats him to it on the bounce.
Great handball by Angus Byrne there to release Selwood. He's showing a bit early here, Stoney.
Yeah, he played with Victorian Country Footy League in the senior game a couple of years ago that I watched up in Ballarat. It was terrible conditions. He showed a bit that day, and I actually tried to chase him for Werribee, but he decided he was coming to Deakin in Geelong, and he made the Geelong list, which is great to see.
It's a pretty good breeding ground for future VFL Werribee players. He's the Echuca and the Murray. There's a few Bush Rangers and Goulburn Valley Football League players in that Werribee team. Here's a turnover, the mark taken by Jones.
Yeah, it's another young Geelong cat, Jeremiah Jones, and JJ as they call him. And they've got those turnovers are going to cost you, especially at this level. You turn the ball over, it's a shot on goal.
So the mark is about 40 metres, a slight angle here for Jermaine Jones. Has 4 goals, 4 for his season. Left foot's on the way, and he's going to go for a 50-metre walk. Encroachment on the mark, Chris Diggle. In fact, the goal's been paid, has it?
It went through anyway.
Okay, so it's a goal, nonetheless, for Jermaine Jones. And the Cats are off to a very good start here, 4-1-25, Frankston 1 straight 6.
So at this point, the leadership of Frankston will be saying, okay, we've got to stop the bleeding here. We need to get our hands on the ball. It's a simple thing. Just be competitive. That's all you got to be. Be competitive and slow the game down. Just try and slow it down a bit.
So the Dolphins challenged early in this one, trailing by 19 points. The Cats off to a great start, as Abbott probably won that one down once again, and Fogarty can clear for the Cats. Ball towards half forward, one-on-one with Byrne and Rendell. We'll call that one a draw. Ball comes out to Diggle, but again, they're under immense pressure at the moment. The Dolphins, handball's just not hitting the target, and that forces a stoppage inside forward 50 for the Cats. 13.5 minutes gone in this opening term. 4-1 plays 1 straight. The Cats have gotten off to the perfect start here, really, at home, as that ball ends up over the boundary line.
Underway at Box Hill City Oval. Box Hill 1 straight 6. Sandringham 1 behind. I'm trying to chase down the goal kicker. Damien Mercedes, the former Port Melbourne man.
Dylan Gordon, the leading disposal winner, on the ground with 5. Probably not a good sign for the Dolphins, given he's one of their key defenders. There's plenty of numbers scrapping around this ball at the moment, and we'll get another stoppage.
So we need Richard and Fordham, their on ballers, to Nathan Freeman's done quite well in this first bit of this quarter, but I need those boys to get their hands on the footy.
Has had 3 early disposals, Nathan Freeman. He's not around this ball at the moment. Fordham is, though, overran it. Now it comes out to Freeman, but he's turned it over. Going inside 50 here, the Cats. Another shot at goal is through. They're having it all their own way at the moment, Geelong. And the Cats looking very good at the moment. That goal kicker was Nick Ricard.
Yeah, another Goulburn Valley boy from Shepparton Bears, and Nick, another one who come down Geelong for school this year, and obviously picked up by Geelong on their list, which is a good pickup. But nice little handball too from Angus Byrne. He got his hand on the ball, little flick out handball, and he'd be starting to get really confident. Just one play in the team, but a couple of early touches would be great.
5-1-31 plays 1 straight 6. We've travelled only 15 minutes here. Danger signs for Frankston.
23rd man, Angus Byrne, involved again with the goal assist.
Yep.
So we're back in the middle. It's been a very good start for the Cats. 5-1-31 to 1 straight 6. Buzzes into the ruck. Lays the tackle on Fordham. Ball bounced Newman's way. Back to Fordham. And a rare inside 50 opportunity for Frankston. It's going to land in the hot spot. It was overrun initially by Williams. It's going to come back to Fordham. Couple of Cats on him while he buzzes one of them. We have a ball up at the top of 50, about 45 out from the Dolphins' goal.
So if the Frankston boys just compete in the air in the forward line, their smalls are going to get the goal.
Bouncing ball here. Socket away by Cheetahs back toward the middle of the ground, and it's actually been marked, well marked by Bailey Schmidt. He's the 23rd man for Frankston today. Lead on offer. Jones almost got a hand on it. No mark was taken. Ground level ball. Ends up with Jermaine Jones. His little kick down the line's okay. And here is Angus Byrne again. And he will go for a 50-metre walk. Another encroachment on the mark committed by Frankston.
Protect space.
So Angus Byrne will be brought to within about 65. He just goes for the top of the goal square. A couple of Dolphins went up. No mark was taken. Jones at the full. He's done hard. Worked hard to work his way to the contest from half-back. Essentially, the kick out wasn't marked by Williams. Dolphins, though, still had numbers at ground level. Eventually picked up by Max Williams. His kick into the middle. 3 Dolphins there. Luckily, the bounce went their way. Oakenball got involved. It's hacked inside 50 now. The high ball from Jarvis. Picked up by Jarnestrom. Hand pass off to Gordon.
Good kick.
And the Dolphins are out of danger. Kick to the outer wing was a good one. The mark's taken just behind true centre wing. Nice little ball to Harnett. Gets his kick to the top of 50, but there was only a Cat there and a good mark by Campbell Floyd.
He's working hard, Angus Byrne. He's up on half-back flank now.
Certainly is, Stoney. Gives a handball off to Selwood, who was running by, but he's nicely corralled by Styles. And forced to go backwards to Dowling, and now Buse inside defensive 50. Trying to affect the switch here, Geelong. Mark taken by Oakenball. He goes inboard for Floyd, and his kick intercepted by Newman. So a chance for the Dolphins to lock it inside their forward half. The kick from Newman was pinpoint for Williams. Has a man out of side. It's Zajai, and that's where he goes. Thought about playing on, but wisely decided to go back and have the shot instead.
It's amazing to watch football, how it unfolds, and he ran to that spot as soon as the player had. So he was able to pick the right spot on the ground where the ball could go to. So the player wheeled and go, and he was standing by himself 20 metres in the clear. Well played, young man.
It's a well-protected pocket here, Stoney, so you want to see these sorts of players back themselves in when they get a chance at goal, especially with the set shot.
Hasn't kicked it behind this season. Yilba Zajai, 9 goals straight. This one will test him. Just across the face of goal.
Classic Moz.
For a minor score. Should have kept my mouth shut, Adam. 1-1-7 now, the Dolphins. Geelong 5-1-31.
Constable has it. His kick for Fogarty is okay. So 2 kicks.
The outliers, look at the outliers.
And they're only 25 out from their own goal. Another 50-metre penalty.
Protect space.
They've been hot on that today, the umpires. It's an AFL crew today, led by Shane McInerney. So a 50-metre penalty here for the Cats. Not sure they took the whole 50. That's okay. Black has it. His kick inboard. Nice Carefield build-up. Constable wants to switch for Guthrie. In the circles. Takes the mark.
Has a strong strength of the hands.
All the Guthries are like that. Stoney, we know that. Constable. Inside 50 we go for Geelong once more. A couple of flyers, but there was a Dolphin at the front. And a really good mark is taken by Max Williams from the goal square. So a virtual kick-in situation here for Frankston. He's happy to go to short option. Jack McHale. Buried deep near the forward stands. His short pass is okay. This is Mullane. He's been a mainstay in this Frankston lineup since they did re-enter the VFL. Ferreira. It's been a good build-up so far. Freeman's handball's interesting into the middle. It was well picked up by Bailey.
Yeah, kick there is again. Look at that.
Zajay has plenty of space at 50, and there is an option over the top. Running into an open goal here is Jimmy Miller. Finishes the job. Dolphins get their second, 2-1-13. Geelong 5-1-31. We've just ticked into time on of the opening term.
Tell you what, really good play by the Frankston team. They just took it from one end to the other. They waited for opportunity, a couple of sloppy handballs, but they made the marks, and just a great result, 6 points. That would be really good for their confidence. We reached the 20-minute mark of this first quarter.
Might have overestimated his the distance he had on Buse on that occasion. Miller, he was almost run down, as you can see on the replay if you're watching us on vfl.com.au, but he got the goal.
A goal around the grounds for Sandringham. Robbie Young, the goal kicker. So we have an even game at Box Hill City Oval, 1-1-7 apiece between the Hawks and the Zebras.
3-goal margin here at GMHBA Stadium as Abbott wins the hit out. Selwood runs onto it, runs Simpson into trouble, got around a couple just, gives it off to Selwood, and now the ball towards half forward. Ferreira was clean when he needed to be, gave it off to Mullane, and now on the broadcast side, Rich takes the mark. Get the feeling they're just settling into this game, Frankston. Their last couple of minutes has been good.
He's off.
Rich finds Fordham, called to play on. They've almost mucked this up, but now Styles has a chance. He can pop it over the top, but too close to the boundary line, out of bounds on the full.
The idea was there, but the execution wasn't good.
Fordham just needed to get back behind his mark and go instead of standing there and letting his opponent wrap him up, but it's going to be Buse's ball for the Geelong. Buzzer was the tall target, couldn't take the mark. Ferreira at ground level, immediately set upon by 3 Cats. And we'll get a stoppage. Right in front of our broadcast position here at GMHBA Stadium. Round 12 action. Hard Yakka Totally Workwear, VFL Live. As Freeman gets inventive with the soccer, kept it in nicely. No mark taken, but doing well was Harnett. Gives a handball off to McCarthy. He couldn't handle it cleanly, and this is where they've turned it over. Simpson, handball off to Constable, and now at half forward. Dolphins with the numbers, but doing the work at ground level was Smith for Geelong, and now the shot at goal comes from Byrne, and he's got his second. A little bit too easy for the Cats on that occasion.
Just left footers, they're a funny breed, aren't they? Just right footers, the players know exactly where they're going to go, but you got a left footer, turns on that left foot, and he sized the goals up, and another good result for the young fella.
Actually, his first goal, Byrne. That's why you might have seen his teammates get around him. Kicked it behind, of course, before. But made no mistake on that occasion. Lovely finish from the big fella.
Good game of footy, this one. It's fairly open. We've seen 8 goals, 2 combined in 23 and a half minutes of footy.
Has himself,
the Cats in control.
Has himself 7 disposals as well, Byrne. He's acquitting himself nicely.
Good tackle.
The clearance one here by the Dolphins. Newman slams it inside 50. Bouncing ball. Difficult one for Henderson to navigate. Locke tried to come crashing through. Eventually clear the way, but not a great ball by Oakenbaugh. It's going to come back. Henderson looking for Jones here. The kick's not quite going to reach him. Goes out of play. Boundary throw in. The intercept tap there by Lockie Williams. Kicked a goal in the win against North Melbourne last week. He's one of those Dolphins that have played every game so far this season. There are 10 of them out there. Boundary throw in. Right half forward here for Frankston. Simpson gathers, keeps it in play. Left foot down the line. Only gets as far as McHale, all in front of Mark Stone, who's got a perfect view of this one. It is a free kick, is it?
Yeah.
Throw in.
I thought it could have been 50-50, could have been holding the ball, but no.
Throw in right in front of Mark Stone here. Just clunked out of the ruck there by McCarthy. There is a whistle. Downfield.
In the back. Free kick to Abbott.
Shane McInerney downfield seems to be indicating that, well, it's going to be a Geelong free kick where the ruck contest occurred. So I've got a feeling something did happen away from play. Abbott goes short. Wasn't 15 apparently. So Mitchell had to run away from the potential tacklers. Jarvis, Abbott, back where we started. Guthrie comes in to help. Jarvis, he goes backwards. Is that 15? It is for Scott Selwood.
Steadying influence, Selwood just telling his teammates to slow it down as he finds Guthrie, and that one not 15 to Fogarty in the centre square. Kick across ground is dangerous. Williams did well. Now Floyd has fumbled, allows Williams to come in once again. Dives on top of it. Didn't get it out, but umpire giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Did well, 50-50 contest. That's what turned the ball over. Could have gone down for a goal for Geelong, but 50-50 contest there.
They're going to need a few more of those, Frankston, to get back into this game. They trail by 4 goals at the moment. Possessing it by hand, but going the wrong way. Fordham. And now a chance for Woodman. Just snap in hope, but intercepted by Abbott on all fours. His kick's okay for Guthrie. Content to play the slow game at the moment, the Cats. 26.5 minutes into this opening term. It's been a good quarter for Shane O'Bree's men. Henderson has it. Gets called to move on to the one-on-one. Good mark taken by Byrne. He's really impressive. Quick hands were good to Ricard. Now he's got a 2-on-2 in the hot spot. Pushing the back, potentially could have been paid against Black. None forthcoming. Frankston under pressure. Free kick for a throw going Geelong's way. Umpire thought about giving the advantage. Saw the shot at goal was a behind and allowed them to go at it once again, but the free kick is going to be Blacks.
Thought it was a bit stiff there for Frankston. I thought he got a bit of a push there before that. This tackle was applied, which was a throw, but yeah, unfortunate for the Frankston player.
Co-captain of this Geelong VFL team is Aaron Black. Back into the lineup for his first game since round 5. Has been playing as a defender, but is forward for the moment. Hasn't kicked a goal yet this season. He comes in and makes no mistake. He was a forward in a past life, Aaron Black, and he shows his wares on that occasion. Geelong 7-1-43, leading Frankston 2-1-13, approaching the end of this opening term.
Some would say once a forward, always a forward. Doesn't matter whether you go back, have a shot on goal, your eyes light up like a Christmas tree. And Aaron Blacks did right then.
Just having a look at some of the stats, boys. Angus Byrne, the equal leading disposal winner on the ground with 8 disposals and has that goal as well. Constable and Selwood also with 8 for the Cats. And for Frankston, Freeman and Gordon leading the way with 6 each.
Aaron Black's 4th game back from a knee reconstruction. There is a kicking incident, apparently, according to the umpire. Free kick advantage paid for Geelong, but a wasted ball towards half forward. Blake Mullane gets in the hole, takes the relieving mark for the Dolphins. So we are approaching quarter time here, 28.5 minutes in. We've seen 9 goals kicked as he goes short for Gordon. And he's in 2 minds here. The short pass is okay for Nathan Freeman. And he goes inboard. So patient sit here at the moment for Frankston. Fordham runs away from Buzzer. He hasn't bounced it yet. Did hand pass in time. McHale. Oh, kicked the ball. McCarthy. Harnett fumbled. That allowed Floyd to come and get in. No prior opportunity according to the umpire. So a ball up in front of the interchange gates as Sam Simpson comes on for Charlie Constable. Umpire throws it up. Abbott almost tapped it down to the wrong man. Eventually it found Geelong hands. Rokar inside 50. Tracking back is Mullane. Jermaine Jones hot on his heels. Mullane concedes the behind. And it is a deliberately rushed behind. So on the quarter time siren, from point blank range, Jermaine Jones can kick Geelong's 8th goal of the opening term.
Geelong are putting so much pressure on the Frankston defence.
Jones kicks his 2nd. Geelong's 8th, and an outstanding opening term. They lead by 36 points. And that quarter time, 8-1. 49, I should say. 8-1-49 to 2-1-13.
Yeah, difficult opening term for the Dolphins. Just the 2 goals won in that term, each to Sajai and Miller. And for the Cats, they've got 2 multiple goal kickers already in Wiley Buzzer and Jermaine Jones, with a couple each and singles for Kruger, Black, Ricard, and also Angus Byrne, the man making his debut today. So a lot of work to do for the Dolphins. We'll see how they go in the second term after this break.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yes! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm at Digital Radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
Where you go?
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
Or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes behind.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
It certainly is, and welcome back to GMHBA Stadium, where the Cats have gotten off to an absolute flyer here. They lead at 8-1-49 to Frankston 2-1-13. Our man Mark Stone is in amongst the huddles at quarter time. Can't tell you exactly where he is, but he will be endeavouring to get an interview with either Shane O'Brien or Danny Ryan at the break of the huddles. Both teams still in their huddles. Frankston actually still in their line groups at the moment.
Looks like Stoney. I can actually see Stoney just hovering out the back of the Frankston huddle, so we'll try and get Danny Ryan for us.
So they're just going into their full huddle now, the Dolphins. And Adam, right on quarter time, we had that free kick for a deliberate rush behind. It was Jermaine Jones laying the tackle on Blake Mullane. He's handballed it through, but he is inside the defensive goal square and under immense pressure. Usually the umpires do let that one go. On that occasion, they didn't. How did you see that one?
It was pretty blatant.
But he was under pressure.
Yeah, I would like to have another look at the replay if potentially we can get it up. I'm not sure we actually can. I would like to take another look. It felt like even before the tackle had arrived, his only intention was to hand pass it through. I think we might get a look at this final passage. If you're watching us on at VFL.com.au, obviously our SEN2 audience can't see this, but the kick's gone back inside defensive 50. We see Blake Mullane pick it up now. Now he knows Knuckles coming, tries to break the tackle, then handballs through. I suppose what I was looking out for is when did he start to try and handball it through? Was it before the tackle actually came through? It doesn't look like it has there. So maybe he was under enough pressure where leniency perhaps should have been applied. But
maybe because he picked it up outside the goal square, then ran back in, perhaps inviting the pressure so he could handball it through.
I think we saw him look back. He knew that Jermaine Jones was coming in behind him as well. So I think he only had one intention in mind. It was blatant enough, and therefore that's why it's being paid. So I'm actually comfortable with that being paid.
Well, there are segments of the public that would certainly agree with you, but it's certainly not what we see at AFL level and not one we see paid very often. So a little bit of a shock, but I guess all we can ask, Adam, is that the umpires are going to be consistent with it, and if they're paying that all afternoon, then the defenders need to adjust, and that's just the way it is.
Sure. Let's go around the grounds. Box Hill City Oval, still the first quarter in play here. Box Hill 3-1-19. Leading Sandringham 1-4-10. Aducci, Jones and Mercedes, your goal kickers for Box Hill. Robbie Young has the lone goal for the Zebras in the only other VFL game taking place around the grounds. At the other side of town today, Box Hill City Oval. The Cats will be there in a couple of weeks, taking on the Hawks as Stoney might just try and intercept Danny Ryan here. Stoney?
How'd you see the first quarter?
Oh, well, we don't want to give away 8 goals. I'm sure about the last one was pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure he was under pressure. But anyway, no, look, whether the boys are a little bit shell-shocked early on, but we want to get them back to playing the way we wanted to play, and that's been hard to play against one-on-one, compete. But we were able to challenge them out of D50 and scored when we did score. So still got to be brave and just be a bit more composed and tidy up a few things.
Do you think the boys should try and slow the game down? We've seen a lot of pressure around the ball, and they seem to be trying to quicken the game up. Slow it down a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially in the back half, if we show a bit of patience and look late, the holes will open up. There's enough space on this ground that you can actually kick our way through, which we did a couple of times. So, yeah, that's a big focus. Go a bit slower.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, mate.
Great work, Stoney, on the boundary line.
Now he's got to work his way around back to the broadcast side.
The perils of being a boundary rider, ready to go second term.
Stoney, that's a shocking bounce, by the way. Stoney, did you know that Frankston was set up on that outer side? You weren't expecting Danny Ryan to come back this way?
No, all good.
Interesting that Shane McInerney refused to bounce in the opening term, and the opening bounce of the second term, which was another one of the umpires, was an absolute howler. So, sun shining here. The ball's gone inside 50 for Geelong straight away. They're now kicking to the player's end of the ground. Ball's gone to ground level. Jones gets involved once more, and we have a ball up. Stoney's going to stay in the sunshine, it would seem, just in the forward pocket, leaning on the fence.
Just while the ball goes out of the area.
Just out of frame if you're watching us as we speak, but he's loving it as Simpson snaps and goals. Snatched out of the ruck contest, and just like that, Geelong have their 9th. They pick up where they left off from a dominant opening term, 9-1-55 to 2-1-13.
Just, again, with the dominance of the ruck and the stoppage, and, you know, Danny Ryan, the coach, spoke about just getting back to fundamentals of picking your player up, knowing where your player is, so that you can actually stop things like that. But that was a pretty easy goal, that one. Just stoppage, ruck work, small forward, goal. So pretty easy footy, isn't it?
He's played every game this season so far, Sam Simpson, averaging just over 18 and a half disposals a game.
His dad was a former Geelong player, Sean Simpson.
Yeah, that's right. Another father-son pick for the Cats. They've certainly profited from that rule over the years as Dolphins trying to get something moving forward. Freeman's handball just shoveled up to no one in particular. And the Cats go inside forward 50 again. Lurking at the back is Black. Couldn't pick it up, and now Ferreira and Jarnestrom can combine, but they've turned it over once again here. The Dolphins, they're really untidy, but Ferreira did well to pick it up and fend off an opponent. Fordham has it on the outer side, but he's dispossessed, and now a chance for the Cats. Numbers streaming through the middle of the ground. They work it inside 50. Kruger taking in a strong tackle. I don't think he disposed of that properly. and neither does the umpire. Good desperate defending here by the Dolphins. They've got it just inside defensive 50. Jarnestrom to take the free kick. Looking for Newman, his skipper, but the Cats are just everywhere at the moment, and able to get a hand on that one and force it over the boundary line was Kruger.
Left half forward here for the Cats, leading by 42 points. Umpire brings this one back in. Abbott tried to just almost go-go gadget style snatch it out of the ruck, but he was pressured by McCarthy, holding the ball, and a free kick to go Geelong's way on the outskirts of 50. Long ball sent in by Abbott, and buzzer goes up. Ball fisted away from him. No mark was taken in the end. Ground level ball. Simpson had to give off the handball. A snap on goal might not count for Luke Smith. There was a whistle. Simpson went down behind play.
In the back free kick, boys, I reckon.
A chance to kick his second goal of this second term, and well, the Cats are running away with this one very early.
Simpson was dealt with after getting rid of the handball.
Directly in front. Has 6 goals for the season. Simpson's kick, right foot. Not great connection between leather and leather, and he missed to the left. A minor score, 9-2-56 to 2-1-13. 4 gone in this second term at GMHBA Stadium. Dangerous kick in. Ferreira takes the mark though.
Wants to go immediately because he has numbers in the corridor. Newman, one of them. His kick is an absolute wobbler and intercepted. The Cats doing a great job of locking it inside forward 50 early in this second term.
Well done.
Great work by Harnett, as you said, Stoney, to come across and intercept the Jarvis kick. Needs to be clean here. Just finds Newman inside the field of play. Steadying influence is Josh Newman. Just under 27 disposals per game this year. Kicked a couple of goals last week in the drought-breaking win. Sends it long towards the outer wing, but again, all Geelong lock, dispossessed his opponent though. And the Dolphins have a chance to go forward. Zajai, the only player forward of the ball, needs to halve this contest and does. Tapped it forward, but his teammates not able to help him out. He's going again, is Zajai. He deserves a round of applause if he gets this stoppage, and he does. Able to keep it inside the forward half of the ground for the Dolphins.
He's a really good player, the young fella. Just the way he just handles the ball. Got literally low centre of gravity and good ball skills.
7 touches, 5 tackles and 3 goals last week. He was one of their big contributors as the Cats clear. Buzzer did well to get it to ground. Ferreira then laid a strong tackle on McLaughlin, but he gets up and goes again, the little man. Sends it towards Black. Big fist came in by Miller and needs to be careful here. Does his teammate in Woodman. He's turned it over. McLaughlin, snap, post. Disappointing stuff here from the Dolphins. They're just holding on, if you can even call it that. The Cats now leaded by 43 points.
Woodman to Mullane, to Fordham, to Harnett. Fordham missed the handball.
Good boy.
Does get it back eventually. They've worked it all by hand here, the Dolphins, to get to centre wing. That's where it's going to come unstuck as Harnett's put into the deck. And did not dispose of the ball. Holding the ball, free kick, advantage paid. Cats go inside 50. Buzzer has a couple of Dolphins to beat. Out the back, Gordon. He'll clear for Frankston. Looking for Locke. Bouncing ball. He was up against Smith. Hand pass in board. Under pressure, Jarnestrom. Constable came for him. High contact. A bit of a sloppy attempt at the tackle. Jarnestrom goes toward the outer side. And Hickey stands as the Dolphins look to penetrate 50. Kingsbury's handball was good. The kick on the way from 50 is straight. A goal against the flow for the Dolphins. I think Harnett was the man that finished in the end. It was. And they move to 3-1-19 to 9-3-57. Cats lead.
Important goal. It was really good build-up from the defence. And Danny Ryan spoke about Dolphins football, and he said move the ball, play some tempo footy, just get possession. Their possession and their skill level has been a bit low in the first quarter and a bit of this game, but that was really good play, good build-up, and they got their hands on the footy. They've got some nice players out there, the Frankston team. It's just the aura of the Geelong list is what's winning the game for Geelong today.
So the margin back to 37 points as we have a warning for a 666 infringement against the Dolphins.
Well picked up.
Don't know why the umpire's telling the ruckman. There's not much he can do about it, but that just means next time it'll be a free kick to the Cats. As we get going once again, Abbott took clean possession and slammed it forward on the boot. Jones at ground level, tried to give it off to the run of Kruger, but it comes unstuck. Ferreira was important there. Now a chance for Williams, needs to be quick. Got boot to ball just. Got it towards the outer wing. Henderson led his opponent to it and just thumped it forward, but there for Frankston was Styles, and he's able to find a teammate at right half forward. Goes inside forward 50. I don't know where he was going. Oakenball, the only person there who could have taken that mark and did. Young Irishman in his first season on the Cats list. And the Cats are able to clear defensive 50. Jones has it at right half back. Pops it long up the line, indiscriminately really. Byrne eventually turned around and ran to it, but had it slip through his fingertips, and over the boundary line it goes.
I'm right in front of this, James. G'day.
You're out of frame again, Stoney.
Oh, bad luck.
Trying to get as much TV time as possible as our man today, boundary side. As Simpson keeps this in play. The long-range handball in board's okay. Did well to find Abbott. Now Fogarty's kick just over the head of Buzzer. For some reason the umpire hasn't paid the mark here, so under a little bit of pressure. There was Jimmy Miller. High kick now back towards centre wing. McCarthy goes up. Jarnestrom at the full. Hand pass inboard for Locke. McCarthy further back for Mullane, but his handball was wayward. Guthrie affected the contest. Fogarty picks up. Handball McLaughlin. He's at centre half forward. Kick for Buzzer. A much better ball this time. And Wiley Buzzer can go back and kick his third.
That's the difference if Geelong get the ball to their smalls there. The targets on in forward 50 will always be leading out, strong hands, and just got to halve the constant Frankston and stop this happening.
He's directly in front. Wiley Buzzer kicked 2 goals in the opening term. Will kick from 40. The trusty left foot can be relied upon this time. Cats already have 10 goals on the board, only 10 minutes into the second term. It's 10-3, 63 to 3-1-19. The margin, 44 points.
Just a really, get the hands in the forwards. You're going to kick goals every time. And Buzzer and Angus Byrne and Kruger and Aaron Black's gone down there now. The big forward line to try and cover.
Around the grounds, Box Hill off to a good start against Sandringham, 4-3, 27 to 1 for 10. 17-point lead for the Hawks. 3 minutes into the second term at Box Hill City Oval.
Here at GMHBA Stadium, it's the Cats leading by 43 points, and they'll get another centre clearance as the ball bounced up to Abbott. Kicked it to a contest. Black was there over his head. Mullane off hands. Styles under pressure. The Cats forward pressure has been electric this afternoon. And they're doing well here, the Cats, able to pick it up. Byrne has been everywhere so far in his debut game. Gives it off to Fogarty. He's chicken wing down. No free kick given. Jones now on top of it. And we'll get a ball up.
Got to try and stop the dominance of Ryan Abbott. He's playing a really good game today, just fighting around. He's standing here at the half-forward line, just watching patrolling proceedings.
Buzzer handling the ruck on this occasion. Fordham wrapped up, tries to get a handball out, but nothing doing. Right forward pocket for the Cats. Looking to score another one. Now a chance. Didn't get his boot to ball in the end. Did Reed. Was caught in two minds. And the Dolphins able to clear. Jarnestrom had it punched away from him. Floyd from 50. Nowhere near it. Out of bounds on the full.
Styles saved the goal there with his tackle. The Dolphins have it last line of defence. Oh, that's an interesting ball, but well marked in the end by Miller. Still inside defensive 50, the Dolphins. Miller doesn't want to go towards the corridor. Fair call, so he goes down the line in front of Stoney.
Wow.
A very, very nice mark was taken there by Rendell. Short option is Harnett. Kicked a nice goal earlier in the term. Mullane was asking for it import. Harnett now, men on the mark told he could go. Jarvis was the man pressuring Harnett's kick towards half forward, and the mark was juggled by Floyd for the Cats. Goes import to Selwood. He switched. 2 Dolphins v 1 Cat, and the 1 Dolphin won the contest. Mark taken by Rich. Too far out to score though is Corey Rich. Wants players to head back toward the square. A half lead by Zijay goes ignored. Nothing kick really inside 50 eventually. Bounced away from Jarvis. Simpson's picking up here for the Cats. Hand pass to Guthrie. Further along does well. McLaughlin. The chip over the top. Just came out onto the ground there. Did Luke Smith, and he takes the mark in front of the gates. He goes inboard. Constable's next in the chain. Simpson having a good second term. Hand pass off. Now it's in the hands of Reed. Under pressure from Alorzio Ferreira holding the ball. Free kick Frankston in the middle of GMHBA Stadium.
They want to go quickly, the Dolphins, as they have all afternoon. It's gotten them into trouble, and it might just do so here. Gordon, though, clever. Gives it off to Williams, and now Fordham has a little bit of time and space. Runs to 55 and finds Bailey in the pocket.
Good build-up there, boys. Good teamwork. Well done by Dylan Gordon. Got a punch fist into advantage, and they got a shot on goal.
So they've made hard work of it this afternoon, Frankston. Sometimes it just looks like they're going a little bit too fast for their own good, but it came off on that occasion, and Bailey will have the shot at goal. Kicked only 5 goals, 10 for the season has Bo Bailey, and he's missed this one to the near side. 3-2-20. Now the Dolphins trailing the Cats by 42 points. 14 and a half minutes gone, second term.
Guthrie goes short to Ben Jarvis. Right by the forward stands here at GMHBA Stadium. He wants to switch over to the outer side of the ground, and that's okay. A little kick for Guthrie. Couple of Dolphins does way to spin away from the trouble loader, Zach Guthrie. Hand pass came in board. Dowling gets his kick beyond centre wing. Byrne having a very good day on debut here. Hand pass back to Simpson. He goes inboard. Charlie Constable takes the mark. Wants to switch. It's a fair option as well. Jarvis presented. Kick towards half forward. Bouncing ball picked up by Smith. Plenty of space for him. Inside 50 we go. 2 options for the Cats to take the mark. One of those was Rokar, and he's in the pocket.
Yeah,
happy to settle into his routine.
Smith and Rokar are former, both Shepparton Bears players and teammates in the grand final side last year, or the year before, I think it was.
Nick Rokar kicked one of Geelong's 8 goals in the opening term. This would be their 11th of the day. Goes the banana and misses near side. Geelong 10-4-64, Frankston 3-2-20, 44-point ball game halfway through the second term on Hard Jacket, Totally Workwear, VFL Live.
We hope you're enjoying the coverage, whether you're watching us on vfl.com.au or listening via SEN2. As Gordon's kick in, intercepted by Mitchell, has men inboard and wanted to go quickly, but just overcooked the kick, but Jarnestrom overran it. Kruger has a chance now, parted the seas, gives off the handball to Selwood. He unselfishly gives it off, and Dowling can finish off a beautiful play from the Cats.
They sort of did that hard, then Paddy Dowling got the under end of it, but a couple of tackles there, but just the strength of the Geelong players to get through tackles and have a shot on goal resulted in that goal. So it was hard work, but skillful enough to get the goal.
12-4-76 now. The Cats 11-4-70, in fact, margin out to 50 points.
That's here at GMHBA Stadium at Box Hill City Oval. Box Hill 4-5-29 leading Sandringham 1-4-10. They've been stuck on that score for a while, the Zebras. We'll see them next week here against Richmond on Hard Jacket, Totally Workwear, VFL Live, SEN2, and the live visual stream on vfl.com.au. That one's going to be at Trevor Barker Beach Oval. Sloppy tackle there from Selwood. Gives away to free kick for high contact, and Freeman will get up and take his kick inside the centre circles. Chips is a loose Dolphin at half forward. Fordham found himself in plenty of space, and his kick not so great. Floyd got in the way there for Geelong. Now it's up for grabs. Well picked up, comes back to Fordham. Has to get around the Simpson tackle, can't quite do so, and gave up his prior opportunity. Free kick for Sam Simpson.
Going too fast.
Having an outstanding second term.
Just slow the ball down, guys. Just slow it down.
Yeah, they were a bit frenzied, weren't they, Stoney?
Yeah, they were.
In that entire build-up, Black, Selwood. Black did well to get his hand pass out in time. He was under pressure as well. Constable's going to take the mark here. Left half back for Geelong. Has a man at centre half back. That's Buse. Completes the switch for Henderson, but the kick was slightly overcooked. It bounced nicely for Henderson. Chips over the top. Floyd. Not quite at centre wing just yet, the Cats. Campbell Floyd's going to hold on to it and wait for something to present in the blue and white hoops. He goes down the line. Jones. Too far out to score. The left foot goes inside 50. Look out for Wiley. Buzzer puts up the mitts. Can't bring it down. Bouncing ball, McLaughlin. Picked up in front of Styles. Maybe had his jumper held. Diggle. Hand pass out. The tackle was late. Diggle again. This time does get it out. It's dumped out at 50 by Dylan Gordon, and it does find the Dolphin on the way down. The mark taken by McCarthy.
Former Collingwood Magpie Mitch McCarthy. Between half-back and wings, sends it to a 2-on-1. Rendell did okay, but Henderson got the fist on it and killed the contest.
Got some good torment, the Frankston side. Some good potential for upside for the future if they can hold on to the players. Williams, McCarthy, Rendell, three good, really good young tall peak players.
Ball tossed back in. Kruger handling the ruck duties. Freeman with Fogarty wearing him like a glove. Newman eventually gathers, gives it off to Yarnestrom. Indiscriminate kick inside forward 50. Rich got a hand to it because his other arm was held. Shot at goal advantage taken by Bailey, missed. And it's going to be a behind. He just shaved the post on the way through. So an opportunity goes begging there for the Dolphins. Trailing now by 49 points as Floyd shoots it over the top to Simpson. Has it on the broadcast side. Wants numbers to come at him. Eventually Jones offers a handball option. And kicking board is okay for Constable.
Time on now in this second term. Constable's kick toward the wing. Fist on the ball there. Diggle, Freeman. Might be beaten to the ball by Rokart. No, it does well to collect. Hand pass off. Combines with McHale. The switch is at 15 metres. It is. And the mark's taken by Styles.
You see why Nathan Freeman was picked up in AFL. He's got some good ability, actually.
The hand pass out here. Bailey's kick, not great. Cheetahs picks it up on the half volley, gets it back for the Cats and sends them towards half forward. No mark was taken. Max Williams did well to just get a hand on the ball. McHale feeds the ball out, smothered though off the boot. Rokar had the last laugh there. It goes out of play. Boundary throw in.
As you mentioned, Stoney, top 10 draft pick back in 2013, Nathan Freeman. Talent has really never been the issue with him, just his body has really let him down.
He's a good player.
Ball on ground level. Larkin and Abbott were trying to both extract it. Eventually Simpson did. He goes toward 50. Again, Buzzer the target, but Gordon got a hand on the ball. Selwood not going to escape the grips of Aloisio Ferreira. Right on 50.
Ferreira's another player for Frankston for the future. He's got some good abilities.
Yeah, he's been in the VFL system for a couple of years now. Mullane, that's a dangerous handball back for Gordon. Does get around Jones though. Then back onto the left foot and a nice little kick. Some poise there shown by Gordon. Mark was taken by Styles. Goes looking for McCarthy. Not a great ball. Does result in the turnover. Simpson again having an outstanding second term. Inside 50. Gordon dropped the mark by Buzzer. Then fumbled as well. Hand pass came out. McHale's under pressure. Styles goes in to help. What's the umpire going to say here? ball up, 30 out from home for the Cats. Apologies if we're getting a little bit too much feedback there from Stoney. That's better. Just keep it there, Stoney. Whatever you're doing, that's working well. So the hand pass out, Freeman, the man we just spoke about, kicks toward the outer wing. It just slipped through the hands there of Renzel. Locke does well to pick it up eventually. Now the hand pass released out wide, but it was overrun that time by Bailey. Picked up by Buse. Hand pass off, Mitchell. Swung around to the right. Mark is taken by Goy Locke. Dead centre wing on the Reg Hickey stand side of the ground.
This boy's got some ability still. I reckon he's got upside in his play.
Had Jarnestrom calling for it in the centre square. Instead ignored that and went up the line looking for Bailey, but punched away from him by Mitchell. As you said, Stoney, they've got some talent, but they're just moving it a little bit too quickly for their own good, and just really, and the Cats are just inviting it. They're cutting it off across half forward or centre wing, and they just need to be a little bit more poised. As the Cats clear this stoppage, handball partially smothered, but it ends up with Fogarty anyway. They have the spare man over the top, and the next link in the chain is Buzzer. Had time to fumble, has numbers streaming back towards goal. Takes a bounce, the big fella, runs to 45 and lowers the eyes beautifully for Kruger.
Just AFL play, just as you said, time and space to weigh up his options, and Kruger just went forward and went back and then doubled back, and he got on the end of it. But that perceived pressure in the Frankston's mind is that they think there's a lot of pressure. There's probably more time they've got than they have, and that's causing a few indecisive decisions.
So the Twin Towers combining, and Kruger will be the one to take the shot at goal from only about 20 metres out, directly in front. He slams it through, and this lead is getting bigger by the minute for the Cats. They're up to 12-4, 76. Frankston 3-3-21.
The old security guard at the end of the day, there's probably 3 footballs sitting behind up in the stand there behind the nets, and they're going to have to get some more footballs, otherwise go and retrieve those.
Might go grab myself one at half-time, Stoney.
$110 those balls.
So that's the second goal of the day for Nathan Kruger. Around the ground, Sandringham have got one back on Box Hill via Kai Owens. It's 5-5-35 to 2-4-16. There will be 4 more games tomorrow. We'll go through some of those later in the coverage today. Abbott won the tap down, not quite to advantage though. McLaughlin almost collided there with Locke. Frankston will get it now through Freeman, but straight down the throat of Campbell Floyd. An easy mark in the end. That didn't go 15, so Constable had to give it back to Floyd. Now to kick toward the outer side. Ferreira gets involved again, but he has given away the free kick to Smith. Has to go back over to Mark. Zach Guthrie is asking for the ball, but it's maybe a kick and a half away from him at the moment. That would have been the switch option. Instead goes down the line. Gordon again. Probably did beat Wiley Buzzer in the air. It goes out of play, boundary throw in. He attacked the ball while Buzzer stayed back. As long as Buzzer didn't take the mark, you probably count that as a win for Dylan Gordon. Abbott in the ruck here against Schmidt. He's the 23rd man for Frankston. Rich socket off the ground. Cheetahs. Guthrie. Locke has him wrapped up.
Holding the football.
The 360, and that usually results in exactly that, Mark Stone. Holding the ball, free kick to Goy Locke. Spent some time with the Casey Demons. Goes in board, not a great ball for Freeman. Turnover, Fogarty. Look at the space here for Wiley Buzzer, and running back is Byrne. Buzzer takes a bounce, goes for Byrne now, but the intercept mark was taken by Max Williams right on the half-time siren. Cats in control here at GMHBA Stadium. Frankston a little better in that second term. It's 12-4-76, Geelong leading Frankston 3-3-21.
It's been a tough opening half here for the Dolphins. We'll just run through the goal kickers quickly. Wiley Buzzer leading the way with 3 for the Cats. Kruger and Jones have a couple each, and singles to Simpson. Black, Rocard, Dowling and also Byrne was really impressing in his VFL debut. And over on the Frankston side of the equation, all singles to Yilbaz Ajay, Alex Harnett and Jimmy Miller. We get set for a break here at GMHBA Stadium, and we'll be back to speak through a couple of the talking points of the first half after this.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yes! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality? Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coach's huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Yes, it is. And here at GMHBA Stadium, it's the Cats with a big lead over the Dolphins, 12-4, 76 to 3-3, 21. Getting it done pretty easily for the time being. Our halftime interview this week is with Josh Newman, the Frankston captain, having himself a very good season, averaging just under 27 disposals per game and leading the team beautifully. Just for the sake of finding out, he has 10 disposals for the afternoon in a team that's being outclassed. Adam, have you got a couple of other stats for us?
We'll stick with Frankston for the moment. So Freeman has 19, having a very, very good day. I think Dylan Gordon's actually played well. He's had 13 disposals, 10 of them are kicks. Some of them have been kick-ins and the dump kick out of defensive 50, but he is playing on Wiley Buzzer and has been okay in the aerial contest. Buzzer's got him a couple of times, but Gordon's reading the ball in flight as well. 10 for Josh Newman as well. Freeman obviously has 19, as I said. We go to Geelong, 17 each to Charlie Constable and Sam Simpson. Had an outstanding second term. In particular, did Simpson. That included the one goal. I think he might have missed another one as well earlier in the term. 13 for Fogarty and Selwood. Ryan Abbott has 12, and the 23rd man, he's making a serious impression today, is Angus Byrne. He has 11, including 1 goal, 1 and 4 marks and a tackle. He's having a very good game on debut, is Angus Byrne.
He certainly has been mighty impressive for the Cats, as have the Cats as a whole, really. As we get ready to throw to our halftime interview, you're just showing me a few more interesting numbers, Adam.
Just some team stats. Only 53% of the possession has gone Geelong's way. That might be a bit of a surprise, given that the margin in the game is 55 points at the moment. They are +9 for marks, +10 for tackles. Hit-outs is actually favouring Frankston by 2. The inside 50s is the big one, 37-15 in favour of Geelong.
So, all in all, it's been a fairly positive season for the Dolphins. A lot of development, not so much a great day for them so far this afternoon. You can have a listen to their captain, Josh Newman, speaking with Jack Heverin on the VFL Hour on 11:16 SEN. Here are some of his thoughts.
Get involved in the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Visit vfl.com.au.
It's been a common theme so far on the show, Gutsy. Frankston, 50-point winners over North Melbourne to break their 20-game losing streak. Josh Newman, the Frankston skipper, joins us on the line to reflect on the victory. Thanks for your time, Josh.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
How did it feel when the final siren blared on the weekend?
It was great, mate. I think it was just a relief for the boys to get the first win. And, we worked hard the last sort of few weeks and played some good patches of footy, and it was a relief to get 4 quarters of good footy and come away with a win.
Josh, welcome to the show and well done on the win on the weekend. We were talking at the start of the show tonight about the crowds down at Skybus Stadium. What have they been like with some of the double-header matches over recent home matches?
It's been great. So, we've had a couple of the double-headers recently, which has been good. But, obviously trying to connect with such a great local football community that we have down here, and to sort of partner up with those local teams and have them play as a double header, and then some fans to stick around and watch some good footy and make a bit of noise makes a big difference down there at Skyway Stadium. And we've always got our loyal supporters on the hill that always make a bit of noise. Sort of no matter the result, really, which is great.
We always talk about and when we're chatting to opposition clubs, and I think they love and loathe going to Frankston due to the crowd sometimes and the noise. What is it like as the home club player, having that sort of support on the sidelines for you?
Yeah, it's good. I think it has that that bit of a local footy sort of atmosphere. There's plenty of passion and noise that comes off the hill, and especially in situations like the weekend when we're playing good footy and exciting footy. It's good to hear a bit of that coming from the crowd and gets the boys up and about, and we appreciate the support and the noise that they make, and it was good to sort of give them something to cheer about on the weekend and with some good footy and the win in the end.
We're speaking with Frankston skipper Josh Newman on the VFL Hour. Do you feel that you were poised over the last few weeks? I mean, there were occasions where you were close to defeating sides. I mean, the Northern Blues is an example, that game earlier on in the season, and also Sandringham. Did you feel that a win wasn't too far away from your grasp?
Yeah, definitely. I think we played some pretty quality sides early in the season, and we're still trying to sort of work a few things out, and I could sort of always tell that, the more footy that we play with such a sort of young list and an exciting list, that, the more we'd start to gel together. And our sort of last block of footy before our last bye, we showed some really promising signs, and we put together some really good quarters of footy and really sort of took it up to some quality sides. And I think we were just sort of lacking the experience and a bit of the know-how to get the job done. So I think on the weekend it was great to see, we made a couple of sort of small changes and everything sort of started to click and we were able to push through and get the win, and I think we'll take great belief out of that and confidence out of that going into the second half of the year.
Josh, it was almost the return of the small forward for Frankston on the weekends, Ajay and Rich kicking 3 goals apiece.
Yeah, it was. It was good to see them get a bit of reward for effort, especially someone like Corey Rich, who, he's the hardest worker on our team, and his GPS results are through the roof, and his two-way running is phenomenal. So it was good to see that some of our forward entries were a bit cleaner, and we're able to get the footy in the boys' hands and kick some goals. And ZJ, he comes in and he doesn't get a lot of the footy, but when he does get the footy, he's really good at making the most of his opportunities and hurting teams on the scoreboard, which helps.
Yeah, you mentioned his disposals. I look back at his stats. I think he kicked 4 goals earlier in the year, and that was from about 6 disposals. And on the weekend, he kicked his 3 from 7. But I don't want to put the focus onto him. I want to know what the captain's doing, drifting down and kicking a couple of goals. Only 1 goal for the season, but you got a couple on the weekend yourself.
Yeah, managed to sneak down forward and get a couple. It's unfamiliar territory for me usually. I'm playing down the back line, but Danny sort of had a chat with me a couple of weeks ago and wanted to sort of experiment with me in the midfield. And the boys, Will Fordham and Freeze were getting it done in the midfield, and I just managed to sneak out there and managed to get a couple to help the scoreboard pressure. So I just sort of had to do what the team needed me to do when I needed to do it.
And one of the big things coming up for the club, and we mentioned that community involvement by the Frankston Football Club, and you've got the EB Foundation Butterfly Ball coming up for the Williamstown game in a couple of weeks. You're going to be wearing a special jumper for the day for the second year, but it also will run into the Butterfly Ball at the Arts Centre in St Kilda Road. Just tell us a bit about the day and Frankston's support of community groups and special groups like that.
Yeah, it's great. We obviously identified that as a focus this year, that we really wanted to make a bit more of a difference and engage the community, outside of football. And we've been lucky enough to sort of partner up with the EB Foundation, which are doing great things for, a rare disease, skin disease that affects a lot of young children. And we've partnered up with them, and we're sort of dedicated around a footy where we wear the special jumper against Williamstown and on the Saturday game. And we're going to head to the Arts Centre later that night and have our big gala ball. And we're just trying to get as many people there as we can and to help out the club and also raise awareness for this great cause and do our bit, I guess. And so it's exciting times, and we sort of pride ourselves on trying to do the best in our community and help out where we can.
Well, it sounds like a great initiative, Josh. Thanks very much for your time. Good luck when you travel to Geelong to play the Cats this weekend on Saturday afternoon. All the very best, and hopefully for the sake of the competition, it'll be good to see the Dolphins continue on their good form. Thanks very much for joining us.
No worries, guys. Appreciate your time.
Josh Newman there, the Frankston skipper, joining us to reflect on the Dolphins' first win in 20 games, breaking a long-held losing streak.
So there you have it, the thoughts of Josh Newman there, the skipper of the Dolphins, having an excellent season, although it's been a tough one for Frankston, but great to have them back in the competition. Still half-time here at GMHBA Stadium, a 55-point lead for the Cats, 12-4, 76 to 3-2, 20. Second half coming your way after this short break.
Visit VFL.com.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yes! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality? Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it, doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
Where you go?
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly, you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
The shadow's starting to get a little bit longer here at GMHBA Stadium. It is, of course, the winter solstice, so it might get a little bit darker as we approach the end of this one. Welcome back. It is round 12 action on Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. The Cats leading the Dolphins by 55 points. Michael Pepicelli, Adam Sarakoglu and Mark Stone, your call team for this one. Stoney, have we got you down there?
You have.
We do. I just want to ask you a couple of questions. The way the Dolphins are playing this afternoon, and you've mentioned it a couple of times during the call, they just seem to want to go, go, go whenever they have the ball, but they're often going when it's not really on, and the Cats are just sitting back and inviting it because they know that they'll turn it over perhaps no further down the field than half back, and they're just able to repel and go forward. What do you think Danny Ryan might have said to his players at halftime? Do you think he might have told them to slow down a little?
He actually told them at quarter time. He said, just slow the game down. He said, you're rushing too quickly. As I mentioned during the call, perceived pressure from a side that's dominating, and I know that sometimes it's a mind thing where you know your opposition, you've got some good players in your opposition, you play against them and you think the perception is that the pressure's there, when really if you play your own game, and he mentioned at quarter time also, play your own game, play Dolphins football. That's what I really wanted to do, and I expect in the second half to really forget about the scoreboard, just try and win some contest, half the contest. Let's try and get some goals in this third quarter. Footy's a funny game. I don't expect the Frankston to win the game, but really to have a crack. And even the contest, maybe they kick 3 goals apiece in this quarter. But just to slow the game down and really use your possessions well, lift your skill rate up and see what can happen.
And with the Cats, Stoney, do you think maybe Shane O'Brien just said to them, act as if it's 0-0 once again and just keep going?
Well, I think they're a professional team. I think they've got some very professional players in the team. Aaron Black, obviously the co-captain. They're just going to just start where you start from, and let's try and get Ryan Abbott's been dominant in the ruck, and in midfield with Simpson in there. Selwood in there, I should say. Just, they'll try and start where they start in the first quarter.
Second half underway here at GMHBA Stadium. It's round 12 in the hard jacket. Totally workwear VFL. And the tap down was won by Abbott, who is having a good day in the ruck for the Cats. Fordham gets his hand pass out. Mikhail's kick towards half forward for Frankston. This is how the game started. Frankston did get the first centre clearance of the game. It didn't result in a score though, and we've got a ball up here still inside the centre square, just approaching centre half forward for the Dolphins.
I expect Frankston to put a lot of pressure on the Geelong midfield to obviously man up a lot more.
Early jump in the ruck contest by McCarthy. Hand pass comes out. Smith does well to get it to Abbott. Tackle from Mikhail. Selwood does well in traffic. You would expect that from a Selwood. Mikhail wins it back though. Now Diggle. That's an interesting handball back toward the chaos, and now wrapped up was Newman. We heard from him at halftime. Ferreira, Mullane. Frankston retain possession. Ferreira gets it back from Blake Mullane, then goes backwards. That can't be 15. It's not. Mullane, hand pass off. Gordon had a good first half. Left foot ball towards half forward. McCarthy jumps. Dropped the mark though. Hand pass off, and now they're inside 50 finally. Mikhail goes looking for Freeman. Harnell get in the way. Rich to left foot snap. Frankston needed a goal there. They get a point. Nice little passage though from the Dolphins to start this second half. 3-4-22 Geelong, 12-4-76. Sorry, Frankston at 3-4-22. The margin is 54 points. Around the ground, halftime score. Box Hill 7-6-48. Sandringham 2-5-17.
Crumbed that ball beautifully, did Corey Rich. You can see why he was in the VFL Team of the Year last year, as the Cats work it out of defensive 50 where Buzzer takes the mark. A long way from home is Wiley Buzzer. Had a great first half, kicked the 3 goals and also set up a couple unselfishly as Henderson belts it towards the broadcast wing where Jones takes the mark. Had Jarvis running inboard, elects to go forward by foot instead for Abbott. Did well to pick it up at his shoelaces. Got his way through some traffic, then gave it out to Jones, and his kick, perfect for the lead of Fogarty in the left forward pocket.
Too much room. Just Frankston players stood around and let the 3 Geelong players here in this wing take possession of the ball. They've got to be better than that.
Had his pre-season hampered by injury, did Lockie Fogarty. Is back playing VFL footy now, and that kick only got about half a metre off the ground. Perhaps lucky to go through for a behind. The Cats now 12-5-77, leading the Dolphins 3-4-22.
Newman's kick in toward this broadcast side of the ground, then helped on toward the wing. It's punched away from Rich, but the hands over the shoulder. Advantage was seemingly paid there for Kingsbury. He came unstuck. Jarnestrom came in to help out. Rich's kick, that's not great. Straight down the throat of Campbell Floyd inside the centre square. Short pass. Cheetahs left it for Selwood. Wrapped up straight away by Ferreira. His defensive and pressure work has been good today, Aloisio Ferreira. Ball up. Adam Sarikoglu, Michael Pepicelli and Mark Stone, boundary side. Kick hack toward half forward by McLaughlin. Out the back and a chance for Kruger. Steps onto the left, gives off the handball in the air. Jermaine Jones to finish. And the Cats kick goal number 13, 13-5-83. Frankston 3-4-22, 4 gone in this third term.
Sometimes you see players that you think they're just far too good, or they're in between VFL and AFL. My perception is that Nathan Kruger is an AFL player in the waiting. I think that his abilities just to read the play, get out of traffic, his skill level is above this competition, and I think young Kruger is that.
Came over from the Sandful in the off-season. Kicked himself 3 goals a couple of weeks ago. Of course, Geelong had the bye last week, and he's kicked 12 goals for the season. And you can add a couple today to that total as well, as Freeman gets it going Frankston's way from the centre. Rich was caught behind in the one-on-one, but did well to apply the pressure. Newman now lays a strong tackle. McLaughlin pulled off his kick. Newman goes in again, trying to bullock his way forward, but it's intercepted. Simpson, McLaughlin, he's taken down without the footy. And he'll get the free kick just outside the centre circles. Shortest man out there today, Jackson McLaughlin, sends it long. Mullane with the leap, couldn't bring it down. Ferreira at ground level. They've lifted their intensity in this third term, have the Dolphins, but going a little bit too quick on that occasion. Oakenball handball to Selwood in space. Handball back now to Cheetahs. He just sends it high and long to the hot spot. Ferreira needs to defend against Buzzer and does it well. Mullane gives a handball off, but the clearing kick only as far as Jarvis. The pick up and the snap and the goal. Ben Jarvis kicks a ripper, and the Cats skip out to a 67-point lead.
There's that perceived pressure. There's a lot of pressure around the ball, and Frankston, just the difference in the skill level in both teams, and just need to obviously just try to slow the game down. I keep saying it, but just the game's going at a frenetic pace, and Geelong are creating the opportunities, and they did then with some pressure and Jarvis on the end of it.
First goal of the afternoon for the young man, only 18 years old. And that sees the Cats out to 14-5-89. Frankston 3-4-22.
9 Cats on the goal kickers sheet now for the day. Only 3 for the Dolphins. It's the Cats in control, looking for their 5th win of the year. They do get the W today. They square their season at 5-5 as the kick goes towards half forward. Ferreira is in front of Fogarty, and it trickles out of play. Boundary throw in near one of the inactive electronic scoreboards in the forward pocket near the Reg Hickey stands. Boundary throw in. There is a scoreboard operating behind the goals at the northern end of the ground, and we've got a free kick here for the Cats on the outskirts of 50 to be taken by McLaughlin. One lead on offer from Byrne, that goes ignored. Then the secondary offer. The kick comes looking for Wiley Buzzer, and high contact on the way down. It will be a free kick instead of a mark. It won't matter. He did land a little awkwardly, did Wiley, and he's a little slow to get up. You can see it if you're watching us.
Landed pretty heavily actually on the ground.
On SEN2, he's on all fours at the moment. Gets up now and looks like he will take his kick. Sorry, Stoney.
Landed pretty heavily when he took that mark too, and landed on his back.
No, I reckon not for the first time today. I reckon I saw a couple of instances in the second term where he similarly, that's hard to say, did fall in the marking contest. He's done well to take a mark here.
Jumps high. It's good set of hands, young Buzzer.
Similarly. It's a very hard word to spit out, Stoney.
It is.
Wiley Buzzer. That one rolls off the tongue nicely. The left foot ball off the side of the boot. 14-6-90, playing 3-4-22 on Hard Jacket. Totally workwear. VFL Live, here's Michael Peppicelli.
So, Woodman to take the kick in for Frankston. Calls for a Shepherd and gets one from Gordon and drives it long towards the outer wing. Handling it off hands, here is Freeman. Got a handball away, quick hands were exceptional, but his teammate wasn't ready for it, and now the Cats can go forward. Floyd out wide for Smith. Does well to gather and keep it in, but kicks blindly towards half forward where Ferreira is waiting. Goes corridor looking for Rich, but he was caught behind, and the Cats have the numbers here. Mitchell can go over the top for Simpson, one way then the other. Eventually just gets boot to ball without really looking where he was going, and only as far as Woodman, who finds Rich in front of our broadcast position. Forced to hold it up, and no one comes at him, so he can hold on to it for a couple more seconds before going, but Abbott in best position, didn't take the mark, and no, free kick against Henderson.
Yeah, he's winged the young fellow, winged by one arm.
Bailey Schmidt, the 23rd man, kicked a couple of goals on his VFL debut last week. Kicks a mongrel, but it might just find Locke. Not able to take the mark, did well at ground level, gave it off to a teammate whose kick was a mongrel. That was McHale, and now the Cats can clear through McLaughlin.
Gives it to Byrne. Don't think the 15 metres was paid there. Goes back to McLaughlin. He shanked his kick. Locke picks up and does well to get it back for Frankston. Now Freeman slams it inside 50. A one-on-one here. Henderson goes up, drops the mark though. Picked up by Bailey. He was tackled. Cheetahs. Hand pass over the top from Dowling. Kicked a nice goal in the second term, did Dowling. This is Black. Simpson. Over the top, mark taken by Dowling. Can keep on running. Left foot towards half forward. The target's Wiley Buzzer. Only one man to go to inside 50. Kicks going to the top of the square now. It's Byrne. He's one-on-one. Byrne might bounce his way. Angus Byrne. Hand pass back. Scott Sell with the sidestep. Goes inboard. Now to snap on goal to come eventually. Good tackling pressure. No shot on goal in the end for Smith. Frankston's done very well. Gordon dumps it out of defensive 50 and a mark is taken by Rich. They got out of jail there, the Dolphins. Now it's Zajay on centre wing.
The goal seemed a mere formality on that occasion, but great work by the Frankston defenders to get back. They certainly haven't given up on this contest as Zajay goes inboard from Mullane. He'll get it back by hand. And he can kick a precise ball towards half forward.
Free kick, top the arms.
They will get a free kick for an arm chop. Corey Rich kept running. Has a lead offered to him in the pocket. Doesn't like what he sees.
Got no tools down there, so he's going to have to look for inside.
Henderson there clogging the hole. This kick might just be tailor-made for him, and it is. AFL guile and experience there on show from Lockie Henderson. He finds Constable, and now the Cats attacking on the outer side. They've got a couple of numbers here, but the boundary line beats Scott Selwood to the ball.
That bit of play for the defensive part of Frankston is what they've needed right from the start. It was really well done by Frankston. They really scrapped really hard. And you're right, Geelong could have got a goal quite easily, but they just defended really manfully and very well done.
Nearing 12 minutes gone in this third term. It's a 68-point lead to the Cats. They'll win the clearance here. McLaughlin sold a little bit of hand candy, then sent the kick towards half forward, but Williams is there waiting.
I like him as a player.
It's Max. Comes off his line, wants to switch into the corridor. Not a great ball. Simpson picked it off. Hand pass off. Black is shot from 48. Number 48 kicks it from 48. The Cats have 15 goals to their name now today. 15-6-96. Frankston. They're stuck on 3-4-22. It's in danger of blowing out to three figures. The Cats are on their way to 5-5.
Just, I'd like to know if I could, but probably can't, but how many goals Geelong have kicked on turnovers from the opposition. I reckon it'd be, well, they've kicked 15 at the moment. We just see how many goals are being done by turnovers.
They're really not doing themselves many favours leaving defensive 50, the Dolphins. The pressure from Geelong has been fantastic, but as we've mentioned a few times now over the course of the afternoon, just a little bit overzealous with their ball movement and going to options that really aren't on, and the execution hasn't quite been there either under immense pressure as Selwood sends the Cats forward again. Buzzer charges out from forward 50, bounced off his chest. Schmidt taken strongly by Buzzer, and we'll get a stoppage offensive end of the centre square for the Cats.
Third term underway at Box Hill. It's 7-7-49. Box Hill leading Sandringham 2-5-17.
Rokar sends them inside forward 50. All Frankston at ground level though. Gordon and Mullane combined, but again, another skill error leaving defensive 50, and the Cats have the numbers. Driving ball towards the hot spot. Buzzer's there. Gordon with him. In fact, it's Ferreira. Decides to, well, tap it into the post in the end, under less pressure than his teammate was in the opening term when a free kick was paid for a deliberate behind Mullane. But no free kick on that occasion. Minor score, the margin out to 75 points.
I think there was just as much intent as Blake Mullane at the end of the first quarter. Resulted in an after the siren goal to Jermaine Jones for the deliberate rush behind free kick as it goes out of play. Boundary throw in. It's near the interchange gate, so both teams use that opportunity to get some rest into a couple of their players. Boundary throw in. Abbott, front position. Rich, worried Selwood out of it. Now to tackle from Dowling. That holds things up. Blake Mullane has to give it back to Shane McInerney. In the corner of the centre square here, you might call that the half-forward flank. Picked up by Roker. Slams onto the right foot. Now Burns the target of the kick. Gets rid of his man. And pretty much took it uncontested in the end because Max Williams was nowhere near the drop. A great mark taken by Angus Byrne.
For a young player, really good use of the body. He just like ragdolled the player, his opposition player, and very good mark, the young Angus.
Stoney, this is my 6th season on VFL Live. I have not seen a 23rd man play this well on debut.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
This is one of the better 23rd men performances I've seen. As Byrne comes in, the left foot's on the way. Not a great kick. That's the one part of his game letting him down. He did miss one in the first term. That was a poster. This time it's out of bounds on the full.
That unique style left footers, those left footers know all about that. Some days it can be magnificent, and other days that hook really gets them. Even the golfers out there would know.
You're not a lefty, are you, Stoney?
No.
Gordon to take the free. Second leading disposal winner out there for the Dolphins. That was number 16. Kick to a contest. Frankston able to scrap it forward here. Zajai did well, and he'll get a free kick for a high tackle. It's a long way from home, though, is Yilba Zajai.
Is that Floyd slow to get up?
It is. He's got a little bit of a limp on as well as play goes on the outer side. Zajai again gives the handball off. Schmidt needs to be good here at ground level. Had a slight fumble and out of play it goes.
He's in trouble, young Floyd. I reckon it's either his back or he got to hit the head.
Angus Byrne's up to 15 disposals and has taken 5 marks, Stoney.
Has a few trainers around him, does Floyd. He's slowly making his way towards the bench as Kruger got up high to win the hit out, but it was all Frankston at ground level. Fordham just got it on the boot, gained about 40 metres, and that's where play comes to an end out of bounds.
He's really walking off gingerly. It's either a leg injury or a back injury. Is he holding his back, boys?
He looks to be a little bit, yes.
Hip or back?
Yeah, I think you'll be right.
Back live. Fordham runs onto the loose ball. Has handball options in board. Just wanted to find the one he liked. Eventually spotted Mullane, and they've gone back about 50 metres here, the Dolphins. Williams has it.
They can't turn the ball over here now.
Kick for Freeman is okay, and they've got a man on this broadcast side, but the kick to him just wasn't good, and Smith able to pick it up and had options aplenty inside forward 50, settled on Selwood, and he can chip it for Mitchell, and the Cats can go back for number 16.
Stoney, that was Nathan Freeman committing the turnover that time. Is it a structural thing?
It's just again not sure of your own play and knowing that the pressure's there going to come.
Yeah, but that's Nathan Freeman. I mean, he's a top 10 draft pick.
I know that, but you're in a team environment. It's not an individual, it's a team thing. It's not one person.
If players of that calibre are committing those sorts of errors.
So it's Dowling to take the shot for goal. His first VFL game of the season. That one missing to the near side. Cats lead out to 76.
Sorry, Stoney, I did step on you before that.
No, it is. You're right. I mean, players of that calibre should make those mistakes. Everybody does make mistakes, but it's a team thing where have the ball and just 5 or 6 possession, turn the ball over, and that's the problem.
Ferreira's kick goes beyond centre wing. Buse is happy to see it go out of play. Another of the many father-sons in this Geelong setup.
The other thing is also when you're taking the ball, you've got to go forward. If you go backwards, zig-zag, the chances of turning the ball over the opposition is going to be greater, and that's what exactly happened in that position.
Dad was a good player, wasn't he, Stoney?
Yeah, very good.
Ball's on centre wing here, out of sight. Of course, before mine and Michael's time, Stoney.
Correct. We've been the elder statesman in the crew.
We grew up in more of your sort of Riccardi kind of era for Geelong in the early 2000s. Inside 50, that was just a random name I plucked as Abbott takes the mark and should kick the goal here for the Cats.
Dominant performance from young Ryan Abbott. But again, you have to say the opposition, that his experience playing at the AFL and VFL level for a lot of the younger Frankston players is a lot greater, so that's why he's been dominant.
There are 13 AFL listed players out there for the Cats today. Ryan Abbott has 5 goals for his season. This will be Geelong's at 16th, and they will raise the bat for the ton. He gets the job done. 16-8, 104. Geelong leading Frankston 3-4-22. The Dolphins have only kicked one behind in this third term, which is about to tick into time on in 3, 2, 1 second. There you go, 20 gone.
Now, this is when characters and leaders stand up, and where does Frankston go from here? They can either give it away, or they can really dig in deeply and go, okay, we're going to keep attacking the game. We know we forget about the score, we're just going to attack the game, see what we can get out of it for the rest of the game. Whether we find a player in a different position, whether we kick, let's try and aim for 10 goals for the game. That's what the aim would be.
Back in the middle. The Dolphins need to show something here. It's all about damage control now. There's plenty of numbers around this ball. Freeman was the one who laid the tackle. Eventually, Rendell went in there and just toe poked it forward, but only as far as Reed for Geelong, who can drive it towards half forward. They've got the numbers here, the Dolphins. Woodman just thumped it out of there, but Constable was the only player there for Geelong. Now Buzzer has it just outside 50. Fends off the Gordon tackle with ease. Gives it off to Abbott. And the result disappointing. Ferreira there to mop up for Frankston. The last time these two teams met, we were actually there for VFL Live, Adam. It was the Cats by 70 points over at Skybus. And fun fact, that was actually the lowest score the Dolphins have ever kicked against the Cats. They kicked 4-5-29 that day. Sitting on 3-4-22 here. 21 and a half minutes gone in this third term. A little bit early to say they might not top 29, but it hasn't been a good performance for them today as the kick off hands goes over the boundary line.
It's a good fun fact, that one. Another fun fact, that was your VFL Live debut.
It was one of them. It was round 14 last year. That was.
That was your first calling debut. I apologise for that.
It was.
I made my debut at Frankston as well.
It's a different
Williamstown.
Over the other side of the bay, it was a very windy and cold day, I should say, as Henderson overruns this footy. Ooh. He's a little bit hurt too, Lockie Henderson.
He's sitting right at the pack now. He's not well at all. He's
trying to get
shoulder.
up.
I think it's a shoulder. Yep.
He is holding his left shoulder. He's not making his way immediately to the bench, but he is walking away from the action as play does go on. Abbott over the top of it. Ball eventually spills free. Fordham on top of it. Couldn't get a clean handle on it. This is good forward pressure from Frankston. McCarthy pulled off his kick, then gives it off to McHale, whose flying shot at goal is out of bounds on the full.
Now Campbell Floyd might already be out of the game with a back or hip complaint, and now there's a trainer. Henderson wants to come off the ground so he can be looked at. Won't come off through the gates though.
Boys, I reckon. Because I'm looking at the physio, and the physio just did a bit of manipulation on the shoulder.
Henderson staying out there for the time being. Buzzer goes up. There was a push on. It'd be his free kick anyway. Nope, it's going to be Abbott's free kick. He will go to Wiley Buzzer.
Should let Buzzer have the mark on that occasion. The umpire, a little bit of a sense of theatre would be nice.
Box Hill running away with it against Sandringham, by the way. 2 goals to Damien Mercedes and Ollie Hanrahan at 62.
Henderson coming off, gents.
To 17. We might get an AFL score around the grounds as well for the first time today when we get a chance as Hughes goes towards half forward. No mark was taken that time by Kruger. Locke regains it for Frankston. Bit happens in back play. There is a Dolphin now down. That's McHale. Play continues. Bailey goes inside 50. That goes straight down the throat of Callum Mitchell for the Cats. His kick over the top's good for Constable.
So Henderson
McHale back up on the ground.
Henderson off the ground, just getting the right shoulder looked at.
Smith from the circles goes inside 50. 2 Dolphins against 1 Cat. Who wins that battle? Bouncing ball. Kruger pushed his opponent out the way. Now he's got a second one to deal with. That's a hand pass back. Fogarty was the outlet. Ferreira had him wrapped up. Did well. Ferreira's been very good today. He might have hurt himself as well. Ferreira, is he clutching his ankle? No. A little slow to get up. He is limping a little bit and indicating toward the bench. He might have a concern as well. Loisio Ferreira. Good to see Campbell Floyd back up on his feet as well. He might be ready to come back out onto the ground. There's a bit happening on the bench at the moment. Stoney, another stoppage inside 50.
So Henderson's his left shoulder, actually. So physio just down with him at the moment.
Back live, Simpson Hand pass off.
Ferreira coming off.
The shot's on the way now from Reed. That might be coming back. Right to left, and he does the job. Ben Reed kicks another goal for the Cats. They've got 17-8, 110. It's in real danger now of blowing beyond three figures. 3-4-22 are the Dolphins.
There is a bit happening on the bench. We've got Simpson, we've got Ferreira off the ground for Frankston with an ankle injury, a left hand.
Close. Sorry.
Simpson with a left shoulder issue. So, and you said young Floyd is talking with physio at the moment down the bench. There's a bit of activity down here, boys.
And Ferreira's getting that treatment right next to you, Stoney. You could almost help out those trainers. Around the grounds for the first time today in the AFL, a 1-point game between Melbourne and Fremantle, 10-6, 66 to 10-5, 65. That's very early in the final term at the top level.
Back at GMHBA Stadium, a nice finish from Ben Reed, one of a number of St. Joseph's boys on the VFL list for the Cats. As we have a free kick in the middle, Ricard thought about advantage, then didn't, then the umpire paid it, and confusion reigning supreme here for the moment, but eventually the free kick comes back for McLaughlin, who pokes it short for Selwood in the centre circles.
Umpire thought twice about that, whether it was 15 or not.
Eventually called to go is Selwood, and he just sends it high towards half forward through Abbott's fingertips. At ground level, Byrne was there. Williams lays a strong tackle, but it was too high. And it's going to be another shot at goal for the Cats. Fogarty the man to take it. Coming off a good game last week, Lockie Fogarty, 22 touches and 6 tackles. In fact, 2 weeks ago, with the Cats having the bye last week. Averaging just under 20 disposals per game. One of the up-and-coming youngsters on the Geelong AFL list as Fogarty misses across the face of goal, I should say. The Cats now 17-9, 111, leading Frankston 3-4-22. It's an 89-point game here at GMHBA Stadium as Gordon plays on from the kick in. Again, goes long with that left boot towards the outer side. Seems to be some kind of set play the Dolphins are rolling with. Hasn't been all that effective this afternoon, and it's thumped over the boundary line.
Three-quarter time siren about to go, only 8 seconds left.
As the ball spins back into play, Abbott won it down, eventually forced forward by Ricard, did well to get boot to ball, and there is that siren for three-quarter time. And it's been a comprehensive performance so far from the Cats as they seek to work their way towards the top 8 and into finals contention. It's 17-9, 111 to Frankston, 3-4-22. Mark Stone will be heading to the Geelong huddle at three-quarter time. And Stoney, you've got an update for us?
Yeah, young Fiera is out of the game. They're going to ice him up. It's an ankle injury, but they're not going to take him precautions with it, so he's going to sit out the last quarter for the Frankston side.
That's a shame for the Dolphins. He's been one of their best players today, Aloisio Ferreira, but he's out for the rest of this game. They just need to get something out of this final term to the Dolphins. Adam, have you got a couple of stats for us?
Ferreira had 15 touches for his day today, as well as, I've just lost it actually, 5 marks, 3 tackles. It was a pretty good day for him. A couple of quick leaders before we do take our break. For the Cats, we have 23 touches now for Scott Selwood. Sam Simpson has 22, 21 for Constable, and 20 for Fogarty. For Frankston, 22 touches now for Nathan Freeman, and Gordon has 18 for the Dolphins as well.
So three-quarter time here at GMHBA Stadium. The Cats lead it by 89 points. We'll have the final term for you after this.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yes! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality? Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Church is an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coach's huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back to Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Live. Right here, whether you're watching us on the VFL.com.au live stream or listening to us via SEN2, it is the Cats leading by 89 points, 17-9, 111, playing Frankston 3-4-22. Mark Stone is over in the Geelong huddle, listening to Shane O'Brien, and he'll hopefully be able to have a chat to him as that huddle disbands. Both sides still in their huddles for the moment, as the Cats have a comprehensive lead and are looking to win their 5th game of the season. It's been a pretty polished performance so far. Just quickly around the grounds over at Box Hill City Oval, the Hawks have full control over that one against the Zebras. They lead 9-8-62 to 4-5-29. Ollie Hanrahan and Damien Machidi have a couple of goals each there for Box Hill. And over at the MCG, we've got Fremantle in front by 5 points. That's about halfway through the final term, as the Geelong huddle is just disbanding. And Stoney, have we got you down there?
Yeah, Shane, just you're pretty happy as the coach. 3 quarters of really dominant football, a lot of pressure on the ball carrier. It's been really good performance.
Yeah, it's probably one of those games where you have a few little focus areas and we actually nailed them so far. So all after the boys is doing a 4-quarter effort now, and obviously has been a bit of pressure. Their attacking first half was really good to watch. So it's something we learned from the way they fast attack, but obviously it's hard to sustain, and that's the things we're working on too, how to control the game, going fast and slow.
So you're after 1 quarter just to really top it off for a 4-quarter performance and get something out of the game.
And it's definitely just defending the right way for the whole game. I think we have defended well. The stats are showing that with our pressure and not letting them get inside for 40-50. I'm just hoping the boys now just come out with the right attitude and finish their work off.
Thanks, Shane.
Great work, Mark Stone, on the boundary line as the Geelong players have made their way into their positions, and the Dolphins are still in a huddle. Danny Ryan obviously has a little bit to say to them. It has been a disappointing afternoon for the Frankston Footy Club, but they'll be looking to gain some momentum because they have what you'd classify as a winnable game coming up against Coburg over at Skybus next week. So any momentum they can gather here might just help them in that contest, Adam.
Yeah, it's a big game because after that they've got Williamstown, Box Hill and Collingwood. So it is a tough little month after the Coburg game, although that said, Coburg did a number on them in what was a TV game very early. I think it was around 3 maybe.
Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday. So the Lions will be feeling good about that game coming up against the Dolphins. The huddle has finally dispersed. The upcoming month for Geelong, they get the Northern Blues next week at Icon Park. That's a Saturday afternoon game. Then they're going to Box Hill. That's a VFL Live broadcast game. They host Sandringham. Then the Casey Demons. I think that's an away game against Casey, and then another bye for the Cats.
So a big month coming up for both sides. Final term, ready to go here. Here's Adam Sarakoglu.
Umpire Shane McInerney, and well, he was throwing it up in the first half. Now he's bouncing, and it's a good one to start this final term. Abbott did win the tap. McHale, ball just trickled away from him. Abbott tries to feed it out to Selwood in tight quarters. Leading disposal getter on the ground is Scott Selwood. Guthrie, Abbott, finally they get the inside 50 to Cats. Buzzer again the target. Bounced away from him. Freeman does well to release the handball out and a little chipper toward the middle. That's okay. Jana Strimp goes towards half forward. Nice fist on the ball there that time. It's picked up by Reed. The fist came from Jarvis. Inboard we go. The mark is taken. That might be Henderson back out on the ground. His short pass was okay. Now it's in the hands of Buse.
We want Frankston to either win the quarter or even the quarter. 3 goals apiece, they've won the quarter basically. We cannot allow Geelong to dominate the game, because for Frankston it's just smooth for their development moving forward. We just need them to even the contest.
I'll use it wasn't Henderson, it was Selwood. As the kick goes towards half forward, Constable might have been held. Was free kick going to the young cat. Way too far out to score though. Now, kick in board's okay. Hand pass off, and now the long range shot from Reed. Did kick one in the third term. The fist backing back with the flight was Max Williams, and it's only a minor score for the Cats. 17-10, 112, playing 3-4-22. Here's Mark Stone, boundary side.
Campbell Floyd is on the bike, Jones. He's on the bike in the obviously interchange bench, but he wanted to get back on this last quarter, but the physio tried to talk him out of it.
So the man we can't see there at the moment is Lockie Henderson, is that correct?
We'll get back to Stoney in a moment as Frankston have got some open play going here. Rendell kicking towards the centre square, just ill-directed. It's picked up by Henderson, in fact, so he is out there as Buse takes the mark on the near side, and he'll get the ball here, Lockie Henderson.
No, my apologies. I thought I saw 4 on the bench. There is a 5th man down there now.
Good to see him back out there. Hurt his left shoulder in that third term, but he's out there and gives it over to Fogarty, who goes to a 2-on-1 at half forward. Doing well there was Dowling, and the handball was equally as good to Simpson. Wants to take on his opponent Diggle, and eventually corralled. Gives it off to Smith, who gets around Diggle and now sends it high towards a goal square. Buzzers backing back, but Gordon there gets the fist to it. Almost 3 minutes gone, final term. 17-10, plays 3-4. It's a 90-point ball game here at GMHBA Stadium. As the ball spins back into play, Buzzer tried to take clean possession but couldn't. Freeman just hacked it out of the area. Might be coming back as Ricard is taken down. He somehow got boot to ball, but they've turned it over here again, the Dolphins. Cheetahs haven't called his name too often today. Kick towards full forward. Gordon got first hands to it. Buzzer now on top of it at ground level. Needs to get it out and does. Ricard trying to run onto it but can't quite. In fact, it's Smith. He lays the tackle on Newman. Well over the boundary line.
Free kick there.
And the Frankston skipper will take the free.
Boys, Campbell Floyd's going to try and come back on the ground this quarter too.
Max Williams getting some treatment right in front of you, Stoney, as well. Some mobility tests on his left knee.
Yep. He is at the moment.
Sounds like you didn't notice that, Stoney. That's it. Pointed out to you. It's happening right to your left there.
I was looking to my right, that's to my left.
So it's a Frankston ball here. The kick's going to land just forward of centre wing. McCarthy went up. No mark was taken. Guthrie falling as he handballed to Abbott. Further back we go. Eichenborg got a touch. Haven't called his name too much today. Gets it back here. Selwood centres it. That's okay for Rokar. Takes the mark for the Cats at true centre half back. The switching ball's okay toward Dowling. The hand pass inboard. And now Constable slams onto the right foot. We're inside 50. Buzzer's got 2 Dolphins to beat. Mullane at the fall. Hand pass. Was that a deliberate rush behind? No. Under enough pressure was Blake Mullane, unlike at the end of the first term as Gordon brings it in for Frankston. They want to get the quick break here. Styles toward McCarthy on the outer side. Those shadows are getting really long now. The entire playing surface is in shade, but still some sun to deal with here for McCarthy. His kick was intended for Harnett. It will be his ball, right half forward.
Max Williams out of the game for the Frankston boys.
There will be a 50-metre penalty here. Sorry, Stoney, go again.
Max Williams will be out of the game for the last part of this quarter. Just a precaution on his left knee.
Doesn't look to be in too much pain. So a 50-metre penalty here and a chance for Frankston to kick just their 4th goal of the day. Alex Harnett already has one to his name today. That was in the middle of the second term. 90 points is a deficit before the kick for Frankston. Harnett kicks his second. Their first goal since he kicked goal number 3 in the second term. 4-4-28. Geelong at 17-10. 112. We are 6 minutes into this final term. Again, Michael Peppicelli, the lowest score that Frankston has kicked against Geelong.
4-5-29.
That was last year.
It was.
1 point away from at least trying to do better than that. What was Geelong's score that day? Do we know that?
It was 14-15-99.
So Geelong's well exceeded that.
Stewie Cramery kicked 5 or 6 that day.
Yeah, I remember that game well. It was a nice day.
They
always are at Skybus Day.
It was a very, very cold day as Abbott wins it down. Doing well to get through the traffic was McLaughlin. Wobbles it inside 50. Buzzer did well to handle the half volley. Shoots a handball out to Black for goal number 3. The Geelong skipper goes bang. Champagne footy from the Cats.
They're good at that, especially here at GMHBA Stadium, Stoney.
Yeah, I mean, would have kicked that goal a million times, I reckon, in his time at the Cats and around the corner for a goal, and it can't but experience and players with that ability.
You can see if you're watching us on VFL.com.au the dexterity and agility from Wiley Buzzer to get down low and handle that half volley. He looks like a real prospect, and I dare say if he was at almost any other AFL club, he'd probably be a regular contributor. But the Cats, with so much depth up forward, he's just struggling to get in there at the moment.
Box Hill have doubled Sandringham's score. He's a 3/4 time score, 62-31. 2 goals to Ollie Hanrahan and Damien Mercedes. Big shot on goal here. Won't quite make the distance. It's punched through for a minor score. Who was the shot taker there, Stoney?
Simpson.
Thank you. I was looking at the VFL Live app. Pays to pay attention, Stoney. Thank you for that. Been called out once or twice with that.
Very true.
Freeman has the ball. Look forward to going back to Box Hill City Oval in a couple of weeks. Haven't been there since, Stoney, if you can believe that. Freeman, the kick towards centre wing, 2-on-1 here. No mark was taken in the end. The kick comes towards half forward. The mark taken inside 50, backing back. Oakenball wrapped up. He was either pushed in the back or taken high. The umpire said the latter. And it will be a free kick for Stefan Oakenball. As I said before, Michael, haven't called his name too much today.
No, we haven't. Young man from Ireland, just learning the game.
The kick toward the outer side. And that last remaining bit of sunshine, it's fisted out of play. And a boundary throw in coming up.
So for Frankston listeners, we've got Ferreira off the ground with an ankle injury and Max Williams off with a knee injury at the moment, so they won't come back onto the ground today.
Cats back to full health. A couple of minor concerns for Campbell Floyd and Lockie Henderson, but still all 5 available, and I do believe those 2 men are on the ground as we speak. Looking down at that Geelong bench, it's picked up here by Newman. The hand pass came back. Diggle's little kick for Newman's okay. Just travelled the required 15. The Frankston captain towards half forward. That's not a great ball. It's picked off there by McLaughlin. Took the mark in front of Rich. McLaughlin goes back inside defensive 50. Anderson recovered from the shoulder ailment late in the 3rd term. Cheetahs inside D50. Not anymore, it's not. Constable behind true centre wing. Hand pass over the top. Simpson had a great 2nd term today. Kicks towards half forward. Diving effort from Black. Took the slips catch. About 60 out from home. Couple of leads on offer. He's going to go the longer option eventually toward buzzer. No mark taken. Simpson follows up. Little chip in board. He wants Constable, but Locke was in position A. No mark. Hand pass from Fogarty. Buzzers snap on the left. He's missing. To the left. A minor score for the Cats. 18-12, 120. Frankston 4-4-28.
3 goals 2 now for Big Wiley Buzzer. Certainly having an impact out there as Woodman kicked just over the top of Buzzer, in fact, and Freeman takes the mark. Looks laterally for Diggle. Still inside defensive 50. One of a few Caulfield grammarians out there today for the Dolphins as Diggle goes short for Freeman once again. This time outside defensive 50. Content to play the slow game at the moment, the Dolphins, as Harnett takes the mark. You just wonder if they might have been better served doing this a little bit earlier in the afternoon as Harnett goes short for Mullane and the switch is on to Fordham, but the Cats have got this largely covered up. Kick from Fordham was precise and found the target there in Woodman. On true centre wing in front of our broadcast position, Jack Woodman.
There's a Woody and a Buzzer out there. Apt.
Sends it long towards half forward. Henderson just floating across and marks it beautifully.
Shoulders gone.
Who for, Stoney?
Henderson.
He's coming off.
Hurt himself in that mark. Didn't have any contact either, so but he knew it straight away and he's back off the ground as Cheetahs gives it off to Reed, who's running. Going for the one-on-one at half forward. Diggle best placed, and he takes the mark in front of Buse.
Henderson immediately being attended to. Did hurt the shoulder in the 3rd term. He has now come off the ground. Couldn't move the shoulder. His day probably done now. Diggle. His kick toward the red chicky stand side of the ground. Freeman. Just interrupted there by McLaughlin, and he pickpocketed him in the end. Took a bounce, runs to 45, kicks on the way, finishes it. A very classy finish by Jackson McLaughlin. 20-13, 100 and... No, I've given him an extra goal. 19-13, 127. Frankston a 4-4-28. Your margin is 99 points.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Jackson McLaughlin's a VFL player, yes?
Yes.
Boys, yeah. I'm going to tell you, that boy, at the end of the year, will get drafted, that boy, because of the speed he has and the X factor he is. And he's only small and diminutive, but he certainly has AFL attributes.
21 years old, from St. Joseph's, Jackson McLaughlin, only 170 centimetres tall. You have to think that might be part of the reason he hasn't found himself on an AFL list.
How big's Caleb Daniel, boys?
He's about 167, I want to say, or he's definitely shorter than 170. So if you have the ability, you certainly can find yourself on an AFL list. And as you said, McLaughlin, who looks like he's been swung into the midfield for a lot of this final term, definitely has the pace and the skill to be an impact player at AFL level as Kruger wins the free. Pumps it inside forward 50, had Buzzer and Black there. In fact, it was Byrne. Byrne got hands to it. Frankston defence holding on, and eventually Mullane able to burst clear, and he has Harnett on his own on the wing, and he's paid a free kick for an arm chop. Thought about going inboard, but gave the handball over the top to Zajai, who's been quiet. Handball for Jarnestrom wasn't great. Had to get boot to ball by any means possible, and he did. Then Harnett swings onto the right blindly. Floyd missed it. Good to see him back out there after his injury concern. The Cats clearing the danger for the moment. Frankston pressure is good as Jarnestrom picks it up. He's tackled immediately by Buse, and the umpire intervenes.
Starting to get very fresh down the boundary line, boys.
Yep.
I tell you.
It's coming through the box here. Don't worry about that, Stoney.
Shortest day of the year, gentlemen, so it is going to get dark and cold pretty soon as Freeman sends it inside forward 50. Fordham one-on-one. Took a good mark, plays on, and dribbles it through for Frankston's fifth.
Well done by Will Fordham then. Good mark, and Brown kicked the goal. He's got some ability, young Will Fordham, no doubt about that.
A piece of individual brilliance from the former North Melbourne Kangaroo sees the margin reduced to 93 points. 5-4-34 now the Dolphins. Trailing Geelong 19-13, 127. And at least for today, they avoid the embarrassment of kicking their lowest ever score against the Cats. Not that that will mean much to anyone, Adam, but just a little footnote for history.
You love your fun facts, Michael Peppercelli. Around the grounds, a 29-point lead for Box Hill over Sandringham. Only 4-9-33 today. Sandringham have kicked. Box Hill 9-8-62. That looks like a pretty low-scoring, dogged sort of affair. I suppose for Frankston, they're 1 point ahead of Sandringham, if that counts for anything at all. That bounce has escaped the confines of the circles. Shane McInerney asks for the Sherrin back. So we are halfway through this final term. Cats are going to move to 5-5 this evening. Still in the finals hunts in the hardjacker. Totally workwear VFL. McLaughlin inside 50, and Buzzer takes the mark. He'll think about a shot from about 50.
He could just about kick this, I reckon, this bloke.
He is going to have a crack at it. One lead on offer. He ignores that. That was coming from Steph Oakenborg. Riley Buzzer today has 3 goals. They are all in the first half. Unloads, the plant foot was right on the paint of 50, tried to get all the distance he could, met the kick, was wayward.
Left footers.
Out of bounds on the full, on crutches and with the knee taped up is Max Williams to your right, Stoney. So he's making his way over. It's a fairly lengthy journey across to the Frankston rooms in the Red Chippy stands as the Frankston Dolphins do move it to centre wing. This is Bo Bailey, takes a bounce towards half forward. Nice kick for Styles. Just dropped the mark. Good pressure, Buse. Styles does pick up. Buse and Jarvis both tried to tackle him. Jarnestrom tackled off his kick, and it's marked on the last line of defence by Kruger.
Doing it all over the ground this afternoon is Nathan Kruger as he swings it wide for Guthrie. And he pokes it inboard for Selwood. His short kick okay. Cheetahs takes the mark inside defensive 50. 27 disposals today for Scott Selwood. Cheetahs goes inboard to centre half back for Kruger once again, who started all this. And now Cheetahs again. Will get it back, needs to watch out. He's taken strong lead and forces the turnover. Fordham, handball over the top. Freeman and now Jarnestrom. Had time to do a U-turn. Kick just over the head of Styles. Pickup was classy. They'll get a free kick for a hold here, Frankston, and they take the advantage. Zajai inside forward 50, has Cheetahs for company. They've got a couple of numbers here, the Dolphins. They need to not muck this up. Picked up by Harnett. Long high ball, Goalwood. Bounces in the goal square and takes the turn left through for a minor score. That margin now 92 points, 5-5-35 the Dolphins. Geelong 19-13, 127 as Jarvis pokes it over the top to Selwood. Coming in for disposal, number 28, not his best effort though. Punched away by McHale, ball kept in by Jarvis. Did well to get it off to Constable, and he just wants to slam it out of the danger zone and succeeds for the time being out of play.
Need you to take a step to your left or something like that, Stoney. We're getting a bit of interference.
Better?
That's better. So a boundary throw in here. Inside 50 for the Dolphins. 5 goals, 5 for their day. Doing better than Sandringham against Box Hill. They've only kicked 4-9, 33 for their day. We'll see the Zebras next week on Hard Jacket. Totally Workwear VFL Live. They'll host Richmond at Trevor Barker Beach Oval. Umpire wanted to blow the whistle. Then the ball came out at the last moment. It's hacked forward by Rich. Chance for Zajai. Worried out of it by Cheetahs. Stars win it back. There's the ex-Rooster. Fisted away from Selwood by Goy Locke. It's in tight quarters here. Staying in play. Freeman did very well to extract the ball. Bailey goes in board, and that was one of Frankston's better passages for the day. The mark is taken by Corey Rich.
Was good play too, and you're right. It's funny how when the game opens up and the pressure comes off it, you get clear ball and possession.
Just see the slick hands in traffic once again by Nathan Freeman. He's probably done that about 4 or 5 times, I reckon, this afternoon. 32 disposals for him today.
Kicked 3 last week in the 50-point win over North Melbourne and has 9 goals for his season. A careful approach. Rich's kick from just about 40. It was a low ball, didn't connect well. Touched on the way through for a minor score. So 5-6-36 Frankston, Geelong 19-13, 127. We are into time on of this final term. Ball's on the outer side here for the Cats. Little kick in board, finds Guthrie. Came via McLaughlin.
2 goals 4 to 2 goals 2 in this final term in favour of the Cats. So perhaps a positive for Frankston that they've been somewhat able to neutralise Geelong's offensive potency, is just playing a little bit of kick to kick at the moment. Abbott has it on the outer side and he pokes it over the top for Oakenball.
Pretty short quarter, guys, I reckon. 3.5 minutes left.
How many goals kicked?
Just the 4, and we're only just over 21 minutes into the quarter as Guthrie takes the mark, and here goes backwards for Black. Kicked a ripper goal earlier in this quarter as Constable pokes it into the centre circles for Guthrie. So plenty of the Geelong players just padding their stats at the moment. It's going to be a good win for them. They lead by 91 points. As Adam said earlier, they're going to even their win-loss record to 5-5 as Jarvis and Constable play a little bit of kick to kick. Won't be enough to get the Cats into the top 8, but it will at least prime them for a finals assault perhaps later on in the season, as a good mark is taken by McCarthy backing back in front of Buzzer.
He's been one of the upsides of the day. He's been really good. I think all their tall men, Williams, this gentleman, and Rendell been good.
Was a Category B rookie at the Pies a couple of years ago, Mitch McCarthy. That kick's intercepted by Constable, who was at a disadvantage in terms of height against Rendell, but just bodied him out of it nicely. Ricard and McLaughlin have trouble working out the handball exchange, but eventually Ricard picks it up and finds Buse, who didn't take the mark but was able to go. Smith has it now for the Cats.
Freeman down behind play, shook his head.
And the mark taken at right half forward there by Dowling. His kick, ill-directed. Not able to take the mark though was Diggle. Oakenball's pressure was good. Going at it against 3 or 4 Dolphins. And he did throw it out. Frankston take the advantage. They've got numbers on this broadcast side. Freeman, one of those. Good to see him up and about. And he gives it off to McCarthy.
A little proppy is Freeman. Ball goes inside 50. Rich let it sail over his head. Can run onto it, get his kick away. Good tackle though from Jarvis. Results in a minor score in the end. 5-7-37 playing 19-13, 127. Frankston's done well not to allow this to get to 100 points. The biggest margin of the day was 99. Right now it's 90. As we're just counting down these last couple of minutes here. It will be a relatively short quarter. we're about to tick into the last minute now. So 60 seconds left in today's game. The kick down the line, well intercepted by Harnett, has 2 goals to his name, goes in broad. McCarthy will get a 50-metre penalty. We saw a lot of this in the first half. Encroaching on the mark was Sam Simpson.
Protected space.
Yep. The umpires were hot on that in the first half. Actually resulted in one of Frankston's goals, I think maybe in the second term. I think that's how Alex Harnett kicked his first goal off the back of a 50-metre penalty. So now a chance for Mitch McCarthy to kick his first goal as a Dolphin. Playing his 6th game of the year today. But just probably a bit better than a 45-degree angle. Will kick from about 48. Right football's on the way. Goal umpire working to his right. It does miss. To the near side as we tick down. 15 seconds left in this one. Geelong 19-13, 127. Frankston 5-8-38.
Are you saying it's going to go at 25 minutes? Is that what you're going to say?
I can tell you, Stoney, the siren's going to go in 3 seconds from now.
Why is that?
I'm next to the timekeepers. There you go. Cats win. They're 5-5. A final margin of 87 points today. Geelong 19-13, 127. Too good for Frankston. 5-8-38 as Mark Stone heads his way out onto GMHBA Stadium. And Stoney, we've got a fair bit of time up our sleeves. I reckon we might fit in 2 if you can. See how we go.
All right, we'll see how we go.
Some fireworks going off somewhere.
That song.
Stoney, looks like you've picked out Ryan Abbott for us.
Ryan, a good 4-quarter performance there for the boys.
Yeah, boys played really well. We've been building really well for the last probably month now. Had a really close game against Richmond 2 weeks ago before the bye. That was we were unlucky not to get the win against a really good team. But no, boys are building really well, and today sort of caps off a pretty good month for us, I reckon.
Your own form, you seem to be enjoying yourself out there. It's inexperienced ruckman for the Frankston side, but you really had a good game today.
Yeah, it was a good game. Personally, just to feel like I got my hand on the ball a bit is always nice. Wouldn't say I've had the best probably month. I've been struggling a little bit with form, so good to get a good break in last week with the bye and sort of refresh, and I feel really good body wise and good to get some form today.
Was a good team performance. The boys really showed a lot of talent, a lot of ability. They tackled well. The coach will be pretty happy. Best performance for the year for the team?
Yeah, probably best team performance for the boys. We all sort of put in pretty well. Tackle pressure was a big key indicator for us today. And yeah, the four quarters of good play was probably the key point for us today.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck.
Easy. Thanks, mate.
Great work on the boundary line, Stoney, as the Cats make their way off the ground to the applause of the Geelong fans who have come out to GMHBA Stadium today. Of course, the Cats in the AFL playing over at Adelaide Oval tonight, so plenty of these fans will no doubt be doing the double, perhaps heading home or heading to a licensed venue, maybe, Adam, to watch the game.
It sounds like a good idea. A full-time score with the team as it finished very well against the Dockers. 13-7-85. Melbourne too good for Fremantle today. 11-5. 71. That's a huge result for the Demons. It sounds like Stoney's probably going to attempt to try and get us the song.
See how we go.
See how we go. We've still got you, Stoney.
Still got me.
Melbourne kicked the last 3 goals of the game. 2 to Tom McDonald, 1 to James Harms to get that 14-point win over the Dockers. We'll try and chase down a score from Box Hill City Oval, a game that is probably still going. It is still going. It's not even time on yet in the final term. Box Hill 11-9-75, leading Sandringham 5-10-40. You would expect Box Hill to hold on. Ollie Hanrahan now has 3 goals. I don't think...
Just going to weigh out, boys. Someone's going to weigh out. The boys just weighing out now, just as they get in their circle.
It's going to be a real hit and miss here, Michael Pipichelli.
It is.
No. Don't think it's going to work. We might have to... Thank you, Stoney. Viewers and listeners do know the words, of course.
Hey! That's right.
We got it. Well done, Stoney.
There you go.
We got it.
Also a couple of lyrics in there from our very own Mark Stone as well.
Yeah, it's all good.
He's never revealed his AFL alliance to anyone here at VFL Live. I'm not sure he has one.
So it's a bit of a mystery, is it?
Where?
We know the VFL alliance, of course.
North Melbourne, boys. North Melbourne.
Well, there you go.
Thank you, Stoney.
You didn't work too hard to keep that from us, but...
Well, I didn't know anyway. I didn't know. So now
didn't know? All right, well, yeah, now you know. Anyway, back here at GMHBA Stadium, a comprehensive victory for the Cats, 19-13, 127 to Frankston, 5-8-38 on air for another 13 minutes, I should say, on SEN2 and also on VFL.com.au. We'll just run through a couple of the goal kickers for you while we can. Plenty of Geelong players kicked multiple goals, and they were led ably by Wiley Buzzer, Jermaine Jones and Aaron Black, who kicked 3 goals each. And then Nathan Kruger kicked a couple, and then singles to Ben Jarvis, Sam Simpson, Ryan Abbott, Nick Ricard, Jackson McLaughlin, Ben Reid, I should say, Paddy Dowling, and also Angus Byrne. And now for the Dolphins, Harnett kicked a couple, and then all singles to Fordham, Zajai, and also Jimmy Miller. A disappointing day for the Dolphins. They fall now to 1-9. They had the high of the win last week against North Melbourne, and a big win at that. But they came out today. They never really looked on. The Cats really kind of took control from the start, didn't they, Adam?
They did. They really, really set the tone early, and Frankston were never really much of a show, unfortunately. Frankston did not give up, though. I know that's kind of an easy thing to say, but Geelong sort of would lose their legs a little bit. Frankston still battled hard. I thought before he went down, Aloisio Ferreira really set the tone defensively, and Corey Rich is obviously a star as well.
Gordon as well was very good.
The skipper in Newman had a good day as well. Gordon was doing some nice things at times, was probably outsized by Wiley Buzzer, but on the rebound was a pretty important player for Frankston. They just couldn't get the flow going. I think that there were 2 big factors today. Turnover across half-back and the lack of flow, lack of quality ball coming in when it would go in, and that's why the final margin was as much as it was in the end.
Yeah, that's right. They just seem to want to go a little bit too much. They often invited the pressure from the Cats and fell into it. So a disappointing day for the Dolphins. But as we mentioned earlier, they do have a winnable game against Coburg next week over at Skybus. Of course, they're probably not going to be favourites in almost any game they play, but in terms of winnable games against a side very near them on the ladder, that's one they'd be looking to be more than competitive in. So perhaps a chance for another win for the Dolphins. Geelong, on the other hand, they travel to Icon Park to take on the Northern Blues next week, and we saw them last week. They were disappointing against Footscray. Their game, they've got the bye this week, so they'll be looking to come out and respond, but you think the Cats probably start favourites in that one?
Yeah, they fell away pretty badly, the Northern Blues, in that game against Footscray. Cats should win that. Then a big game against Box Hill. It's actually,
and we'll be there for that one.
We know about the Cats-Hawks rivalry at the top level, but that does actually filter down to this level as well. There was a grand final between the two not too long ago, so that's going to be a pretty big game as well. Just looking at tomorrow's schedule as well, Michael, there's some very interesting games here on paper. Not sure if you've got those up there. But 4 very interesting games, and wouldn't mind hearing who you might tip for some of those.
Yeah, so first game there at the VU Whitten Oval will be Footscray taking on Collingwood. Of course, that AFL matchup taking place at Marvel Stadium tomorrow. So that one is the early start, 11 a.m. Footscray were pretty convincing last week and hard to tip against them. Here we know the Pies are struggling a little bit at VFL level. Having a look at the next one, another early start, 12:30 p.m. It's Coburg hosting the KC Demons over at Coburg City Oval or Piranha Park. This is a winnable one for the Lions. KC been struggling a little bit this season. Hard to see Coburg getting over the top, but you never know. Might be a little bit rainy, might be a little bit wet. Strange things can happen in such weather. And then a big one between two of the standalone clubs, Werribee and Williamstown, over at Avalon Airport Oval. About a half an hour down the freeway from here, Adam. That one's going to be probably the game of the round. Expecting big things from that one. Both sides in the top 8 and looking to launch an assault on finals. And then the TV game on Channel 7, Port Melbourne playing host to the Bombers. That is going to be another big game. Third taking on second on the ladder. A really big one there. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say Port Melbourne at home, but you never really know. Just want to go through a couple of stats here before we head off. Nathan Freeman, the leading disposal winner on the ground, he had 33 disposals. Constable also had 33 disposals for the Cats, but he had a little bit more support. Scott Selwood had 32 and laid 5 tackles as well. Lockie Fogarty had 27, Simpson 26. The next leading possession winner for the Dolphins, Gordon with 19, and Blake Mullane and Josh Newman both had 18. A disappointing day for the Dolphins here at GMHBA Stadium. The Cats, they're 5-5. They won't quite be in the top 8 tonight, but they showed a little bit of what they're capable of. And here at GMHBA Stadium, it was Geelong 19-13, 127, defeating Frankston 5-8-38. A big thank you to Mark Stone for his efforts on the boundary today. Adam, another great call from yourself this afternoon.
Yeah, likewise. Enjoy the trip home, Michael, and looking forward to Sandy v Richmond next week. A home game for you.
Yes, yeah. It
Very
is
close to your side of town.
It is. Looking forward to that one, to our audience here on VFL.com.au or on SEN2.
Oh, wait, Stoney, we have got you.
Yeah, I'm here.
He's back.
I'm here. I tried to get another interview for you boys, and I don't know whether you could hear me or not.
No, we lost you.
Okay. But, yeah, it was really interesting. The first time being in the warm-down room down there. It's pretty impressive setup down here in Geelong.
A big thank you for your efforts this afternoon, Mark Stone.
Had a great time, boys. Great call. Well done.
We'll be at Trevor Barker Beach Oval next week. Glad to have your company today. We'll see you then.